Lovely backdrop. Oh, we're live. Okay, here we are. And actually, now that I'm live, I'm going to go to, it's just never quite done, or is it? It's just always something to do here. I guess that's why broadcasting is really hard. Okay, so now I'm going to say we're live on Facebook. When I've done a few more of these, I'll probably post them in more places than just the advanced Tobruk site.
Well, and honestly, doing it more than once, actually, the more you do it, the more comfortable you get with it.
Yep. So here we are, everyone. Devin and I. Devin got up early. He's a West Coast dude, and I'm a Central Midwest dude. So he's up nice and early for me, so we can play this game. I guess 9 o'clock's not that early, but you know, let's face it, I stay up late and like to sleep in, but I couldn't because I had 9 8th graders with me last night. So, and they were all up and out of here by 8, which is amazing, considering they stayed up till 3. So there'll be a lot of boys taking naps today. You can see my lovely backdrop here. It's great. I should probably get a green screen with some sort of cool backdrop, but I'm not going to do that. You can see Devin there. He's got his fish tank over to his right and little fish. And Devin and I are going to play the basic game 1A. So Devin's been playing ATS, Advanced Tobruk System, for quite a while. I've played just a few games, mainly solo. And some a few years ago, but anyway, so we thought that this is a good way to kind of teach me by playing face to face, because there's probably a lot of rules I've been not doing or forgetting or just not doing at all because I didn't know they existed, and maybe hopefully it'll help some other people kind of learn the game a little bit. Devin, the original Grognard on YouTube, has got some great videos, and Devin, I just realized, you know, I've watched a bunch of your videos, but you know, sometimes you get them going, you kind of tune in and out, you know, because that's just what I do when I watch some videos. But I noticed that you go into some of the detail about the basics of the game, which is cool, right? Like,
yeah, well, it's I enjoy ATS so much I want a lot of other people to play it, but I also realize it's going to remain a niche game and a niche game and a niche game. But if I can get as much information passed on to people so they can understand how the basics are played, hopefully it'll generate some more interest. And I think one of the problems that a lot of ATSers have, I have it, and I'm sure you've run into it, is that mostly we're learning it solo. And you get things wrong when you play a game solo by yourself because you don't have anybody to bounce the rules off of, and you think you're playing right, but you're not playing right. It's like, you know, a good example of this was when I shifted over from regular squad leader to advanced squad leader back in 1988. So, but I was completely ignoring the desperation morale because I didn't think it was that important, and I didn't really grok it, and I didn't want to understand it, and it was too foreign to me, so I didn't play. It was quite a shock when I realized how important the desperation morale really was in the game. Another good example is I was playing Up Front. I was doing a video series on the card game Up Front 6-8 months ago, and realized that I've been doing assault fire in that game wrong for 30 years because someone pointed it out to me, and I went back and I read the rules, and it's like, how the hell did I miss that? But that just happens when you do solo play. So I like to try to describe as much as I can, even when I get it wrong, because I do. As I tell people, I am not a clever man. But I try to go into as much detail, partially because I want people to understand the system and what is going on to get them interested in playing it. Partially, it's also just to reaffirm in my own mind I'm doing it right, and I need to fill the air with, you know, chatter anyways, rather than just, you know, me having dead air talking about strategy and tactics.
Right. Yeah, I have done that a few times. I go dead air and I realize, oh shoot, I'm online. I need to say something. Okay, so we're going to be playing the Cabbage Patch, which is a scenario 2 out of the basic game, which you can still get online at Critical Hit, with all the caveat impors that you need to have when you do that. So the Cabbage Patch is a basic game here. It's just U.S. pairs against Fallschirmjäger. Fallschirmjäger are actually attacking, and I'm going to be taking the Fallschirmjäger today so that since I'm fairly new, I can learn. I feel like I can learn a little bit more being the attacker, even though it may be a terrible attack, but whatever, I'll still learn. The cool thing is we have a tank, some 35Rs, which is the French tanks that the Germans used after 1940. They took over and used them as kind of a patrol and reconnaissance type role. They're really small tanks. The U.S. have bazookas, and I'm guessing, I hope we find out later, that the U.S. also have some couple machine guns, light machine guns, but we'll find out later, are they able to do something to that tank, or at least affect it in some way. And the Germans have, in addition to the tank, light machine guns and one medium machine gun. We'll get into more details how they enter the field of battle in a minute. We're going to use full rules. I don't, Devin, we did say, right? So we're going to use full rules. So I don't know, just because. And on Facebook group, someone asked, please use full rules. I think it's Gustavo said that. And I'm like, yeah, we'll definitely.
Yeah, Gustavo was asking that. Yeah.
And so I'll be using these. I pulled these up online so we can look at them, but I probably won't refer to them. I probably won't go back and forth to them a lot, but these are the charts and stuff you use. That's one reason I like ASL, and I like charts. I don't know, it's kind of fun. Lock and load's fun because you don't have charts, but these games are fun because you do have charts. So, and I'm also going to use the fully engaged. Oh yeah, we don't really talk about that, but I'm going to use the fully engaged sequence of play. This is created by Mitch Land. He's pretty involved. And they're going to actually be, Mitch and Tony are going to be, or Anthony, Tony are going to be live tonight, not on Google Hangout, but just on VATS. And we'll be playing
Skype.
a game. Yep, Skype, doing their game of Red Christmas. And it's about to be a big beat down, I think, by Mitch on Tony, because he's got like some close assaults happening, some overruns and stuff. So it'll be fun to watch that. Tony's learning the game too. Tony's got a few more games than I do, but that's cool. All right, so I'm going to get at least my ugly mug. Devin's beautiful mug might stay down there, but I'm going to put my screen share on so you guys can see. I'm going to do my entire screen. So now we're going to do the psychedelic thing here. Show that. I'm going to go online here to make sure that it's showing here and make sure it's switched over. But we're using VATS, which is Vassal, and it is showing. Cool. All right, so awesome. Okay, and so Devin and I are both in this VATS Vassal module. If you're unfamiliar with Vassal, it's just a way of playing board games online. Some very generous people use their talents to put this stuff online, which is awesome. We own the game and stuff, so I have no problem using it. So okay. If you get in the chat, please tell us who's watching, and that way, and just ask us questions, or tell us, like, guys, you did that totally wrong. We're totally open for that. All right, so here's the Cabbage Patch. Basically, we're just using this side of it's A through J, so it's a small portion of an already small map. And so the victory conditions are: the Americans must control greater than or equal to 3 building hexes in the playing area at game end. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buildings, 5 building hexes. So this, if you control that hex and you control that hex, that'd be 2 building hexes. Is that correct, Devin?
That is correct.
Yeah. So I don't know. In ASL, they'll say like building, so like this would be 1 building, but in this case, we're saying building hexes. So.
Well, most of the times in other scenarios, you also see just control of buildings as well. I think whoever designed this just threw it in for a little bit of different type of chrome in the scenario victory conditions.
Okay, and it says so we're gonna go through the special scenario rules real quick, just so I kind of skimmed them, but let's make sure we're all on the same page.
We should probably also point out that this map is bass backwards around. South is to the north, and north is to the south. If that makes any sense.
See you can see a little compass rose here. I put that in there. So So what happened is, before Devin and I got together, I pulled out all the pieces for the game, and I'll explain why there's so many Germans here in just a minute. Well, and it's also, I pulled out so many Germans so I could win. So I could maybe win. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. All right. So, so it says for rule number 1, spotting conditions are average for players of the full ATS rules. I'm going to say ASL a bunch. ATS rules. So basically, there are essentially four conditions for spotting: optimal, average, hazy, night. So this is average. So basically, you can see a stationary personnel at 8 hexes. stationary in good cover 8. Oh, it's all the same. So, bum, bum, bum. You can see them moving at 10 hexes away. So pretty much the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, almost the whole board except for line of sight blocking stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much for all intents and purposes, we don't have to worry about sight because I don't think there's 8 hexes unobstructed LOS anywhere on this board. So yeah, sighting is something I don't think we're even gonna have to worry about.
Okay, so let me just so why I pulled out the, I'm going to go to the Germans here because it's about time for setup. So the scenario card calls for 6, 5, 6s. If you buy any new sets of counters from Critical Hit, they don't make 6, 5, 6s anymore. They only make 6, 5, 7s. I just bought this, and so I'm kind of running into this right now. So if I had this game, if Devin and I were playing live with my set live, we would have to use 6, 5, 7s. But the scenario calls for 6, 5, 6s. So I was going to talk to Devin right now live with him and say, I don't care which one we use. The 7 and the 6 are the morale. So that's the only difference. That is kind of a big difference in when it comes to casualties and breaking and all that. Since you're defending against it, Devin, do you care which one we use?
It doesn't make any difference to me. You want to use the 7s, that's fine. You want to use the 6s, that's fine.
Okay. I don't care. I'll use the 6s since that's what it calls for, and we have them. We'll use them. So see that stack there? Devin already eliminated 4 squads. Good job, Devin. All right.
That was the offboard artillery and airstrikes.
Yeah, there you go. So 7, 5, 1, and so this is the same thing. Now this is interesting. Why did I pull them out? Oh, yeah, this is interesting. In the VATS module, so that's what we're using here, the VATS module. So these are supposed to be Fallschirmjäger, right? And so under the Fallschirmjäger tag, they don't actually have 7, 5, 8s under Fallschirmjäger. That's what they call for in the scenario. But they're actually 7, 4, 9s. But I just wanted to point that out as a conversation point, but I'm not going to use those because to me that's quite a bit different. 9 and 8, and then the range is shorter, I guess, because they were using more submachine guns or something. But I'm going to delete those as well. Okay, so that's what the Germans have. Now let's go to the Americans. The Americans are all the same. Nothing was different with them with the new module and the new stuff. So Devin, you have to set up your 238 crew, and it must begin play carrying an M1919 light machine gun.
Yep.
So it has to be the one carrying that. And I'm kind of reading this out loud for everybody else. Devin, I know, has read this and seen all this, but so he's going to put that where, let's see, the American 657 squad sets up marked up with a courage marker. And no German unit may set up in the same hex as the American I2 units.
I think it's adjacent to. In or adjacent. Yeah, the 657 and the light machine gun sets up first in or adjacent hex I2. So
okay, gotcha.
I'll set them up in H2 because I like being in the woods. Should also point out for those of you who don't know, since they are marked with a courage marker, means they are immune to morale checks for the entirety of the game.
So say that one more time, Devin.
Since they are marked with a courage marker, they are immune to the effects of morale for the entirety of the game. So that means you basically never roll morale for them. They'll never break. They'll never surrender. They are going to have to be killed to the last man.
So in this case, it's a half squad, so it'll be 2 hits on them.
Is it a half squad?
A casualty.
Oh, that is a half squad.
Looks like 2 guys.
Yep, you're right. I wasn't even paying attention to that. So yeah, yeah, you're gonna need to get a C2 on him to kill him, and no morale.
Okay, so he's got the light machine gun with that guy. All right, so I guess so the Germans are going to set up second. So Devin's going to set up all of his units. He's set up first in hexes that are numbered greater than or equal to 5. So sometimes, if I were to do these live plays, I would probably come after we'd both kind of go live after we both set up our hexes, or set up our pieces. So, but this is can be an interesting thing, I think, for people to kind of see. Now, Devin probably won't go through his thinking of strategy here because not that this is not that complicated.
Thinking of strategy? I've told you I'm not a
What?
clever man, right?
Dang it.
I tend to go for what I call Hollywood heroics. If I think it would look good on the big screen, that's usually the tactics I use, and it usually bites me in the butt. I don't win a
Yes.
lot of games. So, anyways, all right. So, ideas behind this: the light machine gun. I got no choice in that. I got to stick it either in or adjacent to hex I2. I'll go ahead and stick them in the woods in H1 or in H2 because it gives me kind of clear fields of fire. Although, if you enter around there, we're going to have to be shooting through the wheat fields, but that's fine. And honestly, my thought process is you're probably not going to push very hard over there. You're probably going to be pushing hard up my left flank, the A, B, C, D column. So have to decide, are there any buildings that I want to just automatically cede to you and not have to worry about? Not really. In this case, I was able to break myself down into 4 different stacks with, one bar gunner, one guy without a leader, and two guys with leaders. So I don't really have to cede any buildings right away. So it's basically going to come down to how many or what I'm sticking in each individual building. Maybe. Okay, let's think about what we're going to do with the bazooka first. Now, you should probably mention the special rules about this German reinforcements before we get too much further into this.
Okay, so my 4 squads are going to set up in hexes numbered less than or equal to 3. So I can set up in theirs. I just can't set up in that hex, but I can set up anywhere here for my main force here. These 3 squads and this tank come in differently. Special rules. It says they're going to arrive on turn 2 or later along the south edge. Remember, Devin said this is the south edge, so they're going to show up here. Once per turn, starting on turn 2, the German player may use a movement impulse to roll for the entry of one of the 2 portions of his reinforcements group. So you can see I got a platoon. 1 is a platoon, and 2 is a tank. I gave myself 2 tanks because I thought that said 2, but it's just 1 tank. That's funny. I'll take 2 tanks, but let's delete that. Okay. On a die roll less than the current turn number. So on turn 2, I'll roll if I want, and it has to be a 1. That's interesting. Then the current turn number, but he must immediately enter the tank or all of the personnel units anywhere along the south edge. If the die roll is unsuccessful, the German player is still considered to have used a movement impulse and play pass to the American player. Boo! To enter from off map, a unit enters any hex along the edge of the map as if it's the first hex it moved into using a movement impulse. Half hexes are entered in the same manner. So Devin, when it says that, I have not done, so you can do something called platoon movement.
Yeah, it's basically if everybody's if an entire stack is stacked together, then they can move together. You can even do multi-hex. I think it's or maybe that's just human wave that I'm thinking of. But multiple platoons stacked adjacent to each other, leader led, as long as there's one leader in a central hex, then you can activate all those at the same time. So like say you had someone in E1, F1, and G1, and you had a leader in F1, you could nominate platoon movement for E1, F1, and G1 and move all 3 of those units as one movement impulse.
Okay. Do you think I can enter that way with the group, like spread them out and move them in that way, or?
Well, the scenario says you can, right?
Yeah. Well, it said it does. I just want to make okay. So the die roll. So what? They just that whole unit has to move in together.
Yeah, yeah. So
I can't move one in and take another impulse and move another one in.
No, 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 no. Yeah, they all have to enter at the same time, but they can enter in platoon formation or platoon movement and be, spread out in a line as long as it's a continuous line with each other.
Okay.
So,
All
like
right, cool.
for
That'll
example,
work.
if you got your initiative, you brought them on, you could enter, G1, H1, and I1,
Right. Okay.
one
Cool.
squad
Well,
in each.
we'll worry about that if I even get them. Who knows? Maybe I won't even get the reinforcements. Okay.
That is the one thing that I'm always a little bit hesitant about the random rolling for reinforcements like that because all right, you got to roll less than the turn number. It's only turns 2 through 6, so you're looking at turn 2. You've got a 1 in 10 chance of somebody. On turn 2, you've got a 2 in 10. There's a chance you're not even going to see those reinforcements at all the
Yep.
game. Um, so I don't like the randomness of something like that, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how the game's going later, and if it's going, we'll see how it's going. I'm
If
not
it's
getting
going
him, and
poorly, if it's going poorly, I'll let you bring them on.
yeah, and that way we can see how tanks move and how the bazooka works and kind of all that stuff. So,
Yep. All right. So,
all right.
anyways, that was the reinforcements. So his tank isn't going to be starting up off, or is not going to be starting on board. The only real good way I have knocking out the tank is obviously my bazooka. So I don't want my bazooka out in front. I need to kind of preserve my bazooka if and when the big bad nasty tank comes on board. So what I think I'm going to do. Do I want to give it to the crew because I've got that crew marker? We'll go ahead and keep the bazooka with the squad, and we're just going to stick them here in G7. That gives me some defense with the wall, gives me a little bit of flexibility to react left or right, whichever way the tank comes on, and gives me some protection back in the back a little bit. So he's not trying to pop my bazooka right away. Now what do we have? Let's see.
Hey,
Go ahead
Devin,
and take the.
when I hide pieces, is it hide it from you or just me?
No, just you.
Okay.
Whatever
Okay.
you
So
do
then,
on your.
gotcha. So everyone, you can see that I can hide the pieces. So if you've not used this kind of stuff before, you can kind of see what the land is under. That's the cool thing about the ASL modules. The ASL vassal module is pretty amazing. When you go over them, you see the ground underneath them, which is cool.
Yeah, the people who've done the work on the actual ASL module which is what Vassal was originally written for, anyways. It was originally Virtual Advanced Squad Leader, and then they just realized, hey, this is a good platform. We can do all sorts of games on it, and become VASSL, whatever the acronym now for it is. And yeah, the ASL module could do some really cool stuff. They can do. They've got it set up, and this has taken a lot of work, but you can winterize every single board in the game. You can apply the Pacific terrain rules, so crops actually turn into bamboo, and yeah, it's really impressive what the ASL guys have done with the Facile module. Anyways, we're not playing ASL; we are playing ATS.
And
All right, so it was like.
And maybe while you're talking, so another thing that we're considering as we're setting up is the gray things here are walls, and these are hedges. So they're all 5-level obstacles that block line of sight. And if you're not next to them, so D5 could not see G4, correct?
D5, G4. No, could not. No,
Yeah.
no line of sight. Yeah, you can see into or over. You can see basically one hex beat into it, but not
Yep.
beyond it.
The crops are just obstacles, right?
You are
Or
correct.
obscuring.
+5 obscuring terrain.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so you can see through it, but it's going to affect your shots. And then the orchards, these are, since there are 6, well, they're actually 9 little orchards here, the whole hex blocks line of sight, not just the depiction. If it was just 4 or less, it would just
3
be
or less.
the 3 or less, it would just be the
3 or
actual
less.
tree blocking it.
Yep. If
The
it's 4,
forest,
or more, yeah.
okay. The forest and the buildings, it's only if it touches the object that it blocks it.
Correct.
And crops, the obscuring, is it only if it touches the crop, or is it the whole
Correct.
hex?
No, it's yeah. The crops is if it just clips the actual terrain itself. Like I said, when we were discussing this in the last time, there are very few terrain types that you include the hex line with.
Okay.
Orchard is one of them. Junkyards, smoke, rubble. Very, very few where you actually include the hex border as part of the terrain itself. Everything else is whatever the line of sight clips the graphic, then it's block line of sight.
Okay. Are you set up?
Yep, I think I'm set up.
Okay.
We'll
So
see how well that goes.
Devin set himself up in 2 woods and 3 houses or 3 buildings. Those buildings are masonry, I
Yep,
assume. So that is a +4 or
plus
is it
three.
+3? Okay. Oh, so let me say hi to Neil Molden, Sava, and Al Red Sox fan. There are 3 people watching. Plus, we have 3 other people watching. So we have 6 people watching, which is awesome. So just put your name in the chat if you're willing to show who you are, show yourself. If you're willing to do that, that'd be awesome. And I'll check chats occasionally. I might forget occasionally and go in there. So now I got to set up my stuff. I got 3 squads, 4 squads, 6.56s, 2 leaders, and a light and a medium. And I need to set up in 3 or less. And we will roll for initiative. We do not have, no one's, sometimes the scenario will say Germans go first or Americans go first, but in this one, we'll be rolling for initiative as normal, as far as I can tell. So it's an interesting, yeah, so you just have to have 3 building hexes at the end of 6 turns. I have no idea what to do here. Okay. So the way Devin talks about how he plans games sounds similar to mine. So you've got 2 tactical geniuses online teaching you how to play this game. So this is good.
That's a loose definition of tactical genius, but
right.
We'll go for it.
I mean, I sure do like this side over here. I try not to. I want to spend too much time thinking about. Oh, so what does Orchard do for movement? Orchard's 1. Oh, okay. Head check side is 1 plus 1 plus the thing, and I think walls is the same. So yeah, so everything. So it's pretty simple terrain. Moving into a building is 2, correct? Yeah.
Yep.
So that's pretty simple movement. And crops, I assume they're in season because it's June. Do they do in season, out of season like they do in ASL? I assume they do.
They don't specifically say, but it's usually done by scenario. If they're not in season, then they'll mention it. But that's one of the few rules that I do pull over from ASL because it just makes more sense. The apples to orchard rule: April to October, apples and oranges, April to October. That's when crops are in season. That's how I remember it. Apples and oranges, so April, October.
Yep. So 2 to move into that, 2 to move into buildings, 1 plus to move over these. So again, it's pretty simple terrain. That's why I picked this scenario in this map, because unlike the other map that Devin and I spent this week on, I didn't want my headaches to come from the map. All right, so I got to tell you, it's a little intimidating having people watching because I can just see them going, "Ta, what are you doing?" But that's fine. All right, so gosh, I'd love to just make a huge fire group here and just take this guy out. That'd be awesome. Set him right there and get that first impulse and fire away. Can you do multi-hex fire groups?
If you've got a leader in one of the hexes that they're adjacent to, then yeah, you can do a multi-hex fire group.
Okay, so the most you could do if you had 1 leader would be 3 hexes. Well, no, actually.
Yep.
Can you fire through your...
Yeah, you can fire through your own troops.
Yeah, you can fire through your own, and the only things that make obscuring would be a tank in there. That's an obscuring, right?
Yes.
About that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Todd asking questions to delay the inevitable. Let's get moving here.
Now, I will point out something that will go over terrain a little bit. The building that's in G5H5, since it is a multi-hex building, it does have a plus 10 height to it. It does have a second floor. I could have set up in there if I wanted to, but I chose not to. So
So if you,
just so people know that.
so at some point you could move upstairs.
Yep, 2 points to move upstairs. I guess two
Okay.
points.
And that would give you line of sight over these hedges and stuff.
Sorta. It won't do too much for me for the orchards, but since the +5, I think it's. I was reading this last night about line of sight blocking from +5. Rule 7 point something. +10. Yeah. If the hexite terrain is at least level 10, consider the hex sharing the hexite terrain blocking. So yeah, but not +5. I'd still have to take the penalty, the dice roll modifier for shooting over it. If it was into the hex, I'm getting way ahead of myself. If I was shooting into the hex that was directly behind it, then I would have to add the plus the whatever the dice roll modifier is. If I'm at a higher level, and say for example, if I was in the second floor at G5, if I was shooting into G3, I'd have to add the +1 dice roll modifier for the hedge, but I wouldn't if I was shooting into G2. I think that's how that works.
Okay.
But so we're just going to avoid that entire headache, and I'm just going to be on the ground floor.
Stay on the first floor. Okay. Yeah, and if you were playing basic games, so you all know that wouldn't even be an option, because yeah, they don't even talk about second floor and stuff like that. So okay, but it's a cool feature to have. So any 2 hex or more building has a second floor, and you can go up in either floor. There's no stairwell in this one. There are stairwells.
Technically, any multi-hex building has a stairwell in each hex, unless it has a stairwell graphic. Then that is the only stairwell in the building. Does that make sense?
It makes sense to me. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay, so all right. Man, this is interesting.
I also point out, since I'm setting up in the building, I could have set up in full cover. It's one of the few times that you can actually start off a game in full cover. However, I don't like how rigid. But in some cases, being in full cover is a good thing. A lot of times, I don't find myself in a tactical situation where I want to be in full cover, so I'm not going to be in full cover. But again, just to let people know, when you set up in a building, you could start off in full cover. And I just noticed this. I'm going to go off a little bit. My 1/8 leader is Captain Dorman. That is named after one of our Drew Dorman. He was a huge cheerleader for ATS 7, 8, 9 years ago. He unfortunately passed away from a heart attack about 6 years ago. And he was a good friend of mine. We chatted a lot. He helped me with my design. He helped everybody with their designs. He was a really good source for rules. But it just kind of choked me up a little bit to see his name again, even though he's been gone for several years now. So.
Yeah, I appreciate. Thanks for calling that out, because yeah, a lot of the counters in this and ASL and even in Lock and Load are kind of named after people. Many of them, some of them are just made up, but a lot of them are named after people, and often people who really contributed a lot to the community. And it is especially someone, I don't know, moving, I guess, or I don't know, touching when it's someone that's passed. So, so everyone, this guy's got a shot right down at this guy, but he also has a shot right down at that guy. So
Yeah,
gotta put all my guys like right in
you're
the
in
line
the
of
open,
fire.
and I'm in a building.
Yeah.
It's just, I wonder who's going to win that shootout.
Yeah. All right.
Just saying. I mean, hey, if you want to leave him there, I'd love to be able to blast
Well, yeah,
away at him.
we already could have a situation here where I'd lose a guy here. So, do leaders affect shots?
Yes, they add their dice roll modifier to the dice roll. 1 for NCOs, 2 for officers.
And that's something on the setup. Oh, okay, I do have two there. I want to move this guy here. That wasn't really clear in the setup chart on the Cabbage Patch is they don't really say who's an NCO and who's a or are all 117s NCOs and 118s are officers?
All 117s are NCOs, all 118s are officers, which
Okay.
normally, under most circumstances, across most nationalities, isn't that big of a deal. However, you do get into some cases where you have like Israeli units where 118s are the NCOs and 119s are the officers. So it gets a little confusing at that point.
Okay.
But
All
for
right. Well,
our
that's cool.
yeah, for our purposes, 117s are NCOs and 118s are officers.
Cool. Hey, Uzi. Nice. Welcome. Uzi Patrol. Now,
Uzi!
I'm a little nervous about Uzi Patrol coming on here because he was schooling us last time. So, Uzi, just keep your opinions to yourself. I'm just kidding, of course. Please tell us if you see something, any of you. All right. I think we're ready to go. I think I'm set up, ready to die. And we may end this game in one turn, and then we can flip around and try it again. So, I kind of have a scheduled time here to go 11 to 2. I don't know if we'll even be in that long, but if we are, we'll see what happens. So, okay. All right. You ready, Devin? Ready to roll some dice? And I guess we, some people when they play with these Vassal stuff, they use different die rollers and stuff. We'll just stick with Vassal. It's fine. It'll do for us. So I guess, right, Devin, you cool with that?
Yep. No, that's fine. I'm perfectly fine with it.
All right. So here we go. It's the indirect fire segment, and we roll for initiative here. Now, Devin, I don't know, how do you normally do it when I don't play against people very often, so this is kind of a new thing for me. So, like, normally I would roll the red die and the black die like that and say, oh, there's your roll. But do we just roll our own die, probably, I guess?
Yeah, let's roll our own die.
Okay. All right. I got a 1.
I got a 7.
So I'll take that roll. Let's do that. Okay. So if you can all see, and you can all actually, if you have VATS, if you probably know this, if you have VATS, you can join us actually and watch the game on your own computer if this picture would be better, which is kind of a cool thing about VATS. You can jump in and be an observer. I got a room set up as basic game 1A. You'll see it. All right. So that means I have the initiative on this roll. So we do onboard guns, fire, smoke. We don't have that, right?
Yep.
So aircraft attacks, nope. Onboard spotted, nope. Counter battery, nope. And is there anything else that I am missing that we could do in this? It does not look like it.
Nope. It's neither one of us have offboard artillery or onboard artillery. So yeah.
Okay. Fire movement segment. Roll for initiative. Can we keep that initiative roll? Okay.
No.
So now we roll again. Oh, I rolled a 6. Yes. Okay.
So you won initiative.
All right. All right. So fire movement phase. Players alternately use impulse to fire and or move, blah, blah, blah. So here we go. All right. So the question is, do I just want to fire? Oh, thanks for doing that. Devin took off the move markers there. I appreciate that. So now what do I want to do? Well, I set up here so I could just fire on the guy immediately with my light machine gun. No, wait, with my medium machine gun. The question is, do I want to activate all these guys? So, Devin, when you activate any sort of, if I wanted this software to activate, they have to do the same thing, I assume, right? I couldn't say these guys are going to move and these guys are going to fire.
You're gonna have to remember that I'm not looking at the Google Hangout. I'm looking at my own VATS map, so I can't see your cursor. You're gonna have to actually say which axis you're.
Tell you. Sorry.
It's okay.
Appreciate that. The troops in J2 and J1.
Yep.
So if I wanted to activate them with the officer, they have to do the same thing, I assume.
Yes.
They can't the squad. Okay. All right. Well, then let's just start out with the gangbusters. These guys are, I'm sorry, J2 are going to fire. They're going to fire everybody. So they're going to fire, I'm sorry, J2 is going to fire the squad and the medium machine gun. And so that's going to be 5 plus 8 is 13. So it should be 10. No, it should be 10.
It's going to be 12. It's going to be 12.
Oh,
one thing a lot of people seem to forget and overlooked, and I had to make sure with it last night. And just to make sure I'm even reading it right. Medium machine guns subtract 2 from the squad's firepower. Light machine guns subtract 1 from the squad's firepower. Now, let's see if I can remember where I read that last night.
Oh, man. Well, this is why it's good to play someone else. Even though I don't like the rule, it's good to play with someone else and learn that. That's cool. I do want to learn them correctly.
Where did I read that at last night? I was all over the rule book last night looking into things like, all right, we're going to be playing with orchards. I better brush up on orchards. All right, we're going to be playing with hedges. Better brush up on hedges.
I tried to do a little bit of that, but I was, with those, with the group here, I kind of didn't get that done. So it's probably in the, where's the firing? That happens in 12, doesn't it, that section?
Yeah, 12 point something. But I don't think I saw it there.
Oh, that's interesting.
I could have.
I do have these cool French charts, and I need to find the US version that explain that in like nice diagrams, but I don't think they got into that. Yeah, it doesn't really get into that.
I think it was.
Anybody online, if you know the reference.
Machine gun direct fire. I think that was under there.
Section is
14.3.
Oh, 14.
Maybe.
There are 2 types of machine guns, light and medium, blah, blah, blah.
Nope, I don't think it was under there.
Traversing, or I guess we can talk about traversing and grazing fire too, once we figure this out. Light and medium machine guns may fire beyond their permitted range. Okay, so I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, anything can fire double their normal range at half firepower.
Okay, cool, good.
Except for mortars. I think mortars have they've got it fixed range, but it's like 2 to 60 or something silly like that.
So while Devin's looking this up, and so we keep some stuff going here online here, or some sound, just shout up when you're ready to go, Devin, when you find it. I'm going to read about traversing and grazing fire.
Yeah.
So light, medium, and heavy machine guns and vehicle AA machine guns may use 1 rate of fire expenditure to fire at half gunfire factors at up to 3 adjacent hex locations, making 1 attack die roll for the 3 hex. That's an interesting thing. I've read that before and I don't quite understand it, so we'll have to talk about that sometime. And then there's grazing fire when a LMH, not AA. So whenever a LMH machine gun with 4+ gun factors and not yet marked with an F marker makes a casualty table attack, the owning player may opt to also place a grazing fire marker. The grazing fire marker must meet all the following: within line of sight, within maximum normal range at the same level, or continuous slope using a hex along a hex row hex spline. The choice to place a grazing fire marker must be before resolving the originating attack, which is made normally, and the grazing fire marker need not be placed in the target hex, nor along the hex row hex spline that includes the target. Okay, this is a lot more stuff than I was ready to read out loud, so we'll talk about grazing fire later. Yeah,
you know what? I can't find that, so I'm not going to worry about it. So I'll have to look for it later. But yeah, so we'll just say it's -1. It does, honestly, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's going to round down to
10 anyway.
It's going to round down to 10 anyway. So the whole point of the exercise was moot.
But yeah, but it's still good to know. I mean, like when you get a fire group that's more. So that's interesting. I guess it makes sense because it just takes a little bit more manpower to make it happen. So, okay, so let's look at then. So we're going to look at so we're taking this fire. We're going to use on the 10 column, but now we got to look at the cover states. No one's running, no one's assault. The stationary, so 0. So now what do woods count? Are they good? They are good cover.
Yep.
So that's a plus. So it's a +1. So it's a die roll modifier of +1, and that's the only one I see. And does the leader do
for terrain?
So and then the leadership directed is -1 because he's an NCO.
Correct.
So that one balances each other out.
Yep.
So now we're just rolling straight on the 10.
That's it.
1d10. Roll nice and low. I love games that you roll low. 6. So it's a C1. So he's going to take 1 casualty. He does not have to take a morale check, though, because he's got a
Because,
nice ribbon on him.
yep,
So,
he
so,
is courageous.
so now, while he's putting that casualty on him, I will mark these guys as Control F. That makes sense. So they're fired. And then this guy. So can you immediately fire the machine gun second rate of fire, or is that only in another impulse?
No, you can immediately, since it's part of the same fire group, you can fire it immediately if you want.
Do I want? So I'd be rolling on the 8.
Yep.
All right, I'll do it. So 8 straight up because of the woods and the leader. The leader can still direct it or no?
Yep. No, it's still part of the same fire group. So yeah.
I'm blowing on my computer like I would my dice. Just, blast it. Nothing.
Yay.
So now I marked it fire 2. So the 2 there, so if you don't know, means they can fire twice, which is an interesting way of handling a rate of fire. And do I need to mark the captain at all? I guess did he fire? Not really. I don't know. But I don't know. I can
Well,
remember it's not enough.
he's stacked with a group, so you just
Assume he did
assume
all
and
that.
remember that he directed the fire group for that fire. So.
All right. Now Devin gets to do something. Maybe he'll
Yep, and
respond
just
in kind.
because I'll go ahead and return the favor from H2, but I am going to blast at J1.
What? Come on.
Hey, you've
That's
already
not
fired at me with those other guys. Why do I want to fire at them? I want to try to shoot at the guys that haven't shot me yet.
That's rude. Just rude.
All right, so my firepower for the squad is going to be 6 -1 for the casualty, -1 because they're carrying an LMG, so it's going to be 4 plus the 9 or plus the 5 from the LMG, so a grand total of 5 firepower. Now, so that makes it a what? And what did I say? 9. Had I not taken the casualty, I'd have had 10 firepower, which would have been better because that'd have been one better column. But since I did have that casualty, that subtracts 1 fire from my
Oh.
firepower.
Well, that's interesting. So, okay, I did not know that. So C always subtracts 1 from it.
Yeah, any casualty always subtracts 1 from the firepower and the morale. In fact, if you take a look at a squad like your 656 squad, flip it over to its casualty side, it's going to be a 454 because it's taken
Sure.
2 casualties. So 6,
Okay.
5, 4. So yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
So it's kind of a neat degradation that the system always has. So we're looking at the 8 column now. I am not leader directed. I am firing through the orchards, which is obscuring terrain, which is going to be +1 to the dice roll. And I'm firing into the woods, which is good cover, which is another +1. So we are going to be looking at the 8 column +2.
Here it
Do you
goes.
concur?
Oh yeah, I'm good. Yep.
Ah,
Yes. Now, do they
nothing.
have anything like broken weapons or anything like that? Nothing like that.
The only when you roll a 10, there's only 2 times you have to worry about when you roll a 10 on a morale check, and then you have a chance of it being courageous. Or if you're rolling with ordnance, if you roll a 10, there's a chance for a critical hit. For weapons breakage or anything like that, since we didn't declare we were doing it, normally if you're firing with uh, support weapons, you roll 2 dice at the same time. Just use the first dice. But if you roll doubles, then the weapon will jam. But that's an optional rule. Even I don't play with it most times, because I usually forget about it. So, and since since we didn't declare at the beginning, since we haven't rolled 2 dice for any ordnance weapons or machine guns or anything like that, this is going to be assuming that we're not going to have to worry about it. So, under normal circumstances, the 10 doesn't affect anything in this case.
Okay.
Other than me whiffing badly.
Okay, correct.
But I am going to use the second rate of fire to fire each again, which is going to be 5, which is going to be the 4 column at +2, +1 for the orchard, +1 for the woods. 6 is not going to be anything, I don't think. Nope, nothing.
Okay, cool. So that'll be all marked fired.
Yep.
Does courageous help in melee at all?
Nope.
Does not. Okay.
Not
Just
in the
leadership
league.
does.
Yeah, courageous only means you don't have to take morale checks.
Sorry.
I think it might do something in melee, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything on the oh wait, courage or leader with courage +2. 2 times. Wait, what? 2 times.
You got to
Courage.
remember your melee value is dependent on how many stacking points you have, and your stacking points is determined by how many guys are on the counter. So if a squad is marked courageous, he gets if it's a full squad with 3 units on it, he gets double that. So he technically has 6 guys on the counter, and then you figure it from there.
Oh, I think I did melee wrong. So let's talk about melee real quick because I may want to do that sometime, or you may want to do that here. So let's look at melee, how that works. And so you have a 657 with casualty, so and a half squad, 2 stacking, and these guys are 3. If we could talk through real quick how that would work.
Yep, let me
So
get to the melee section.
we're going to be looking at the melee table here, everyone, and me. And while we're going to that, I just want to look at a couple of chat things here. Oh, that's interesting. So Uzi says the CP of a light or medium weapon is subtracted from the squad firepower. So that's interesting. So that's an interesting way of thinking about it, and it works.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I was right. I just couldn't remember. All right, so it must have been under the carrying that I was reading that. So yeah, I knew I was getting there. I just couldn't remember how I got there.
That should be under the firing thing. It would be interesting. Yes, Uzi, if you know where that is, let us know while we're playing here. That'd be awesome. But thanks for that. Let's see here. While he's looking at fixed range is marked with an asterisk. Okay, that's interesting.
Yep, mostly just mortars.
And then they're talking about some other stuff. Courage
Yep.
marker doubles melee. Yep. Okay, so they're chatting amongst themselves here. Okay. Cool. All right. So
they're
melee.
more interesting to talk amongst themselves than pay attention to us.
Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt. Okay. All right, melee. We're just talking about melee real quick, everybody, so I can kind of figure out, when and how I want to do that. So I may write the rules references on this table here so I know where melee is and stuff on there. So that's.
Oh yeah, I had that wrong. I was thinking grenade attacks. Never mind. So yeah, for calculating melee odds, odds ratio of gunfire factors for each attacker defender. It's just if you're courageous, that value is doubled.
Oh wow. So in your case, your gun and your light machine gun counts too, right?
LMGs do count
in attack, but not in defense, I think.
Right.
Wow. Dang, dude. But still.
Yeah, any carried LMGs may also be counted by the attacker, but are never counted toward the defender's gunfire value in the creation of odds. An LMG may attack once per round, and as many rounds as its carrying unit is eligible to attack in melee, up to but not exceeding its printed rate of fire. So if you have a melee that goes 4 or 5 rounds, you've got a light machine gun, it can only provide its fire for 2 of those rounds.
Scott Eagles has joined us on the chat. Okay. Carry rule. Oh man, we got all kinds of stuff happening here. Okay, so Scott says light LMG is not doubled, and LMG counts an attack. Okay, so that's interesting to know. So in this case, you have assuming your casualty affects your thing, so you'd actually go into have a melee of 10 with your guys. So when I attacked your guys, you'd have a defense of 10. So it'd be my 6 against your 10, which
Correct.
would put me in the 1 to 2 area. But then in attack, does that mean you'd be at 15 because you'd be 10 and then the machine gun 15 against 6?
I was just there reading what it defined as, who the attacker was defined as, and I kind of glanced over it and didn't pay attention to it.
All right.
Good question. Well, we'll worry about it if and when we ever get there.
Yeah, if it happens. Well, I'm not going to attack you now knowing kind of all that stuff happening. I was considering it, but I'm like, yeah, that's not happening. Gosh, man, this is an interesting little thing here. Let's see. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not going to run. No way am I ever running. That thing is crazy. So when you run, if you're not familiar with ATS, you can run up to 7 hexes by yourself. So these guys could go 7 movement factors or whatever. but they would be winded, and you're winded until you spend a turn not moving and not firing. So you essentially are going to lose a turn. You have to decide if it's worth it. I don't think I need to do that here. Yeah, this is the bummer, man. You guys are in these buildings, and I'm not in buildings. And I know how that. I know playing all these other tactical games how that works. It's just a fire, like you said, it's a firefight I'm going to lose. I said I wanted to attack, but I hate attacking because I'm not very good at it. But
the impetus is always on the attacker. The attacker is always the one that usually has to make the hard decisions. So yeah, attacking is always more difficult.
All right, so I think I'm going to have these guys move, assault move. Is that the right term, assault move? So, because I'm going to have them go 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1.
You got to remember, I can't see what you're doing on your screen. You're going to have to tell me hexes or actually physically move the counter.
So D1 is moving to D2.
All right.
And then he's moving to D3. So it costs 1, 2, 3 to jump over the hedge, and then 4. So now, I've moved into that. Now you can see me.
Yep.
Though I do have cover. So would you like to op fire on that?
No.
Okay. So
one thing we should have also done is leave residual fire in those fires that we did earlier.
Yep. So, and it's half
whatever the final gun factor column was.
So it'd be 5, so it'd be 4, right?
Although I don't think you're going to be moving into either one of those hexes, so.
Right. Oh, someone's might get loud here. Sorry if I'm hard to hear. So there it is, everyone. It's that, and that would go here. You fired back here, yeah. So I'm not going to move back there. So I guess
you're probably, and yeah, like I said, you're probably not going to be moving into H2. So 9 times out of 10, I don't bother putting residual collateral, whatever you want to call it. What is it?
Okay, so you're not going to op fire, correct?
Correct.
Do I have a ton of background noise, Devin?
No, not really. I can tell there. I think there's a sync running, but that's about it. Doesn't interfere with me hearing you.
Okay. All right. Well, I might as well. So I can assault fire. I might as well do it. It's gonna be a terrible shot, but I'm here and I got it, so I might as well use it. I guess. Yep. Is there some reason I wouldn't use it?
No.
Wait. So I guess I can and I may be thinking of a different game. If I don't use it, I can op fire later with it.
You can do what's called an opportunity something. But yeah, basically, if you assault move but don't fire as part of your assault move, you can opportunity fire with that later on in the turn. You just marked it as moved, as assault moved, and don't mark it as fired, so you can remind yourself that you can still opportunity fire with him later. Now, you've got to remember, it's only opportunity fire. So it has to be with me moving something within your line of sight. It's like, all right, I want to move here. Then three impulses later, nothing's happened. All right, now I want to fire no, you can't do that. It has to be opportunity only. And you also have to remember that is personnel only. Vehicles don't get that benefit. Why? I mean, they should be able to, at least with the vehicle machine guns, but for some reason they don't let vehicles or vehicle machine guns do that. Opportunity overwatch. That's what it's called. Opportunity overwatch. So yes, just mark him as assault moved, and then if I move into his line of sight later on, you can opportunity overwatch fire with him.
Yes. Okay. Cool. I don't think you're going to be doing much moving in this, so I'm just going to go ahead and fire.
Really?
And then read a couple of things in the chat. Okay. So so I assault. Nope. So now we're looking at so I have a 6, firing at a 6. He's got the cover of
you assault move, so it's half firepower.
So a 3, so I'm firing on a 2.
Yep.
He's got the building.
Yep.
So that's 3.
Yep.
So 2 on the 3. So basically, I have to roll a 1. 2. Awesome.
Almost.
So mark these guys. Combat fire. That's good. Now your turn.
And assault moved.
Oh,
Because if later in the turn for some reason I do shoot at them, we have to remember that they are still under assault movement, and so it would be a whatever the assault move
oh,
modifier is,
oh,
the
that's
minus
oh,
one on the
really?
dice.
When you fire at me?
Yep, because
Oh,
you assault
really?
moved it. Yeah, it doesn't
Oh,
matter if it's op fire or just fire later in the turn. That's why you always have to. That's why you're always you remain marked with either crawling, running, assault fire, assault movement, what have you, because that movement state modifier affects you for the entire turn.
that's
So
pretty heavy.
now, if I wanted to shoot at you with my squad and Sergeant Allen right there, I would be shooting at you as you were still under an assault move.
Dang. Dang, this game.
It's the little nuances that get you.
Yep. Okay, so now that I've done it, let me read a couple things in the chat real quick.
Yep.
Can Devin's fish please stop moving? They're distracting. That's funny. Yes. So yeah, tell your fish to stop moving. Overwatch fire is using your assault fire later in a turn. Okay, thank you. Wait a minute. Hold on. Scott says, nope, it's not just op fire. You can use regular fire impulse as well. But the but the ass fire is halved in either case. Assault fire. That's interesting. So Scott's saying that you can use it as regular fire. That's a pretty big deal. That's a big difference.
I'm confused on what he's trying to say that in reference to.
Yeah. Can Scott? Can you? He says, "Trust me on this." Hey, man, I trust. I trust in. Huh. Interesting. Yes. So he says yes. So you can. I could. I guess I can fire just a regular turn later.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Well, hey, I trust Scott. Scott knows more than me about this. So.
I'm gonna have to. Scott, do you know that? You probably don't have the rules in front of you, but if you have the rules reference, that'd be cool. Just for later, so I can look at it. Then the conversation in the chat room goes to ass fire. So I think I'll just leave it at that. All right. Saba had an issue after going to Taco Bell one day. Okay. Okay. All right. Devin, what do you want to do? I'm going to get off the chat here.
I am going to pass.
Okay, cool. Is there anything about when if like people multiple pass, it changes turns? That's in some game. That's in lock and load. Like if there's 3 passes in a row or something like that.
Yeah, it's in the rules someplace.
Okay.
Usually when I'm playing solitaire. Again, a lot of these things that I should be doing, I don't because I play solitaire, so I don't worry about it too much. So there is a specific rule for how many times it passes. I just can't remember off the top of my head what it
is. Scott said he'll find it. Find the thing. Opportunity Overwatch. 4 passes ends the segment.
Okay.
Ends the segment. Okay. Thank you, Scott. Scott, like having a living Scott and Uzi both having like a living rule book right here. Awesome.
Yeah, all we need is Mitch now, and we'll be good.
Covered, man. Okay, so and another question: smoke. Do all personnel units have it? Gosh, I really should know these things.
Yeah, right. We probably should have pulled. Well, since this is a basic game and basic game isn't in smoke, this game was probably not tested around having smoke. But okay. Yes, all personnel have smoke, and you don't have to assign smoke grenades. You get a number of smoke grenades equal to how many stacking points worth of squads you have. For the U.S., it's for every 6 stacking points worth of squad. 6 stacking points of squads, you get 1 smoke grenade. For the Germans, it's 1 grenade for every 9 stacking points. So basically, in a long way of saying it, Americans get it for every 2 squads, Germans get it for every 3 squads.
Okay. Every 6 and every 9, you said?
Stacking points, yeah. Crews and leaders are not factored into that calculation.
So basically, I'd get 1 because I have 12, so I'd get. Well, actually, I'd get more than that, but it's not that many. It's 14, so I'd get 1 smoke grenade.
One smoke grenade, yeah.
Okay, and using that, is it just an automatic use? But you roll for
no, it requires a expenditure of a movement point.
Okay, but you get it. It's not a roll of the dice whether you.
Yeah, it's not like squad leader or ASL where you have to roll under the smoke exponent, which is usually a 1 or a 2. But yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's usually the way I do. That's why I don't even bother throwing smoke anymore. Like, hey, I got an engineer, and scenario special rule says I get +2 to the integer, and it's like, oh, I need a 4, and I keep rolling 6s.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So, yeah,
Lock and load's a similar way. You try, you roll. If you fail, the guy's done. I'm like, what? All right, well, it's more flexible. Okay, it's enough talking here. Let's get moving here, boys. Let's just give Devin the shot he wants. And I got the reference for the shooting, 12.7.4. So the last sentence of 12.7.4. A unit eligible for opportunity overwatch fire may use a fire impulse later in the same fire and movement segment to conduct assault fire.
There you go, then.
And Dat Willie Pete. Do you get smoke after your ass? So, Sava, I gotta get online with Sava sometime. Play because this guy, he says, "Do you get smoke after ass fire?" Okay, so
only if you ate Taco Bell the night before.
Yeah, or as Uzi's doing, Indian food. Okay, so these guys are moving. I'm hoping I can get Devin confused and laughing here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Assault movement.
Do it hex by hex so I can see which hexes you're moving into, so I can declare
D3 for 2.
Actually, I see what you're doing, but go ahead and go through your movement anyway. So D3, that's 2 movement points. 3,
D4, 3, C5, 4.
Okay, now almost a little bit safer way would have gone to D2 to C3, C3 to C4, C4 to C5. Same amount of movement points would have got you there the same way. It's just, had I had somebody in like F3 or F4, I would have been able to op fire on you in D3.
Sure.
But if you'd gone the C3, C4 route, I wouldn't have been able to op fire at you. But again, that's tactics. That's beyond what most of us are capable of. So in this case, I am going to go ahead and fire. I'm going to fire from the stack in B8, the medium, the light machine gun in B8, and I'm going to have to check line of sight because I think it clips the orchard. I'm fairly certain it clips the orchard. It does clip the orchard. All right. So we're looking at 5 gunfire factors because crew doesn't add their firepower in. So it's 5, which is going to be the 4 column. It's going to be +1 for the obscuring terrain in the orchard, B7. It is going to be +1 for the good cover of the blocking terrain of the hedge in the C5, C6. And it is going to be a further +1 for the orchard.
So you do add all that together then?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that gets all added together.
Wasn't sure about the hedge.
Orchard is stationary terrain. So that doesn't get...
Oh, yeah. So it only obscures.
Yeah, it's only obscures, and you only count the fire that goes through, not into. So, yeah, it's going to be 4 column +2.
Oh, and your leader?
Oh, yeah, and the leader. So -1 on the dice roll. Or, yeah, 4 + 1. So 4 + 1 is a 5 on the 4 column, which is going to be a C1.
Boo. So I'll take that off the crew there, or off the squad. Tony Kinner's joined us. Welcome, Tony. Good to see you. Casualty. Okay. Now we do morale.
Yep.
Leader first at...
Always start off with the leader. Yep.
Morale. So it's -1 for the morale, or +1 for the morale because of this casualty. So I'm looking for a 6 or less.
Nope, because you have to add in your morale support range of every good order full strength squad in or adjacent to the hex when at the time of the morale. So you've got the leader. So he's going to be -1 for the casualties taken this turn, which was what the stack took. plus
Okay.
1 for the full squad that you're in the hex with, and then
Okay.
another
So
plus
back
1
up
for
to
the
7.
squad that's adjacent to it, D4.
So 8.
Yep.
So
So
now
you're looking at
8 or
8 or less.
got it.
Yep. He makes it.
And now the squad in the hex, he's going to be -1 for the casualty.
Correct.
+1 for the leader. So that evens that out. And
Right.
+1 for the squad next to him. So now he's at a 7.
Yep. You missed one. Okay, so it's going to be 6.
Mm-hmm.
His morale is going to be -1 for the casualty that he has taken. Because you got to remember, if he's got a casualty marker on him, you subtract 1 from the firepower and the morale. So his morale is going to be 5. It's going to be -1 for the casualties the stack took, which is going to be 4.
Wow. Okay.
Plus 1 for the NCO, which is going to be a 5, and then +1 for the morale support range of the squad next to him is going to bring back up to a 6.
Okay. So 6. 9.
Uh-oh.
He rolled a 9. I
Broke-a-fied.
rolled a 9. He broke. So broken. Bound to happen there. Okay. So the result of that, and are you going to fire your machine gun again?
Yeah, I might as well. So
Okay.
it's going to be 4 plus 1 again. 4 plus 1 again is a 5, so it's another C1.
Oops. So now take another morale check, right?
Correct. Now the morale is going to be a little
But
bit different this time. So you've got the corporal. He's going to be a 7, -1 for the casualties that the stack took. Going to bring you to a 6. He's only going to get the +1 morale support for the squad that's adjacent to him because 1, he's not stacked with a good order squad. He's stacked with a broken squad, so they don't get their morale support. And it's no longer a full squad, so he doesn't get his morale support for that. So it's going to be 7, -1 for the casualties took, +1 for morale support range, so he's back up to a 7.
6.
He's good. The
These
broken squad
guys.
has to take a morale check again.
Does the broken do anything? The broken status do anything?
If he fails, then it'll do something to him. Yeah, but it doesn't modify the dice roll in any way.
So he's a 4 with the
Correct.
leader. He's a 5 with the guy next to him. He's a 6.
-1 for the casualties the stack took this turn brings it back down to
5.
5.
Broke again.
Okay, he's a broken unit who failed a morale check. He is now considered surrendered. Yep.
Okay.
And you'll get a chance to bring him out of surrender during the
Rally
phase. Correct.
Good firing there.
Lucky. Good had nothing to do with it.
Okay, so at the comments, fun fact for smoke grenades, they must be the first movement points you use in the impulse. And talking more about fires and some other stuff. Okay, so you do have to, your first movement impulse has to be to use a smoke grenade. Scott says, nice charts, Dev. I guess you're probably showing your charts when you're playing. Okay, let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Nice rolls. I like using dice to keep track of morale, gunfire, etc. Okay, also Uzi. I'm go into that. Okay. All right, so he's fired twice. He's done. It's my turn. I have one guy I can do something with. This is looking really good for me. This is great. Hi, caramba. I want to move that guy. So do I want to move J1, get him moving up forward, but then they'll be able to see me there. And they'll fire on me. I mean, there's just no way I'm going to be. I should have fired those guys as a fire group. I guess I'll just fire.
You want a bit of tactical advice, or at least what I would do. So again, the tactical advice is coming from me, so take it for what it's worth.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, what's up?
Crawl from J1 into I2 and then during the infiltration phase, use grenade attack against me. You'll have more firepower against me than if you would if you're trying to fire at me from J1.
Okay, well, awesome. It's not only a tactical advice, but it's a rule advice because I knew nothing about that. I mean, I've seen grenade attacks, but I thought it was something different.
Well,
Okay,
the biggest thing about grenade attacks is you can only do grenade attacks if you didn't shoot during your phase. So, and let me check just to make sure I've got that correct in my mind. Because I know you can't use it if you shoot. I wanted to make sure you can use it if you move as well. Pretty sure you can.
Uzi likes to use a D10, D12, D20, 100, whatever, to show the total number of whatever factor, gunfire, morale, all that stuff, just kind of help him keep track of stuff, which is not a bad idea.
That's actually not a bad idea, yeah.
Especially when you got several, stuff going on. This is an easy scenario, though. If you got a lot more units, it'd be tougher. All right, so you're looking up infiltration or grenades, I guess.
Grenade attack, yep.
So that's the kind of advice I like. I'm like, I have no idea to use that. That comes up in ASL way off. I'm like, no, why didn't you do that? Well, because I didn't even know it existed.
Yeah, I got one guy up at my ASL group that I don't play against anymore, primarily because he just never tells, especially new players, anything. So, and it's very frustrating. It's like, I had Panzerfaust that entire game, and you didn't tell me I could use them, and you were driving the tanks up within 1 hex of me when I could have been using them. Jackhole.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a tournament. If it's a tournament, I see that. You know, you gotta know what you're doing there, I guess. But part of the fun of war games to me is you kind of are playing together. You know, in some ways. I mean, again, if you're in a tournament, that's different. But at least you're kind of trying to learn the game together, especially these complicated ones. Okay. During the infiltration phase, if the person used means okay, so it did not fire at any time during that turn. So those guys in J2 could not do it.
Correct. Well, you can also only do a grenade attack against an adjacent hex.
Okay, yeah. It is otherwise eligible to fire. It did not infiltrate in the current infiltration phase.
Correct, which is why J1 would have to crawl into I2. Basically, you'd want to do crawling because you're not assault fire. Well, you can assault fire if you crawl anyways. But since you're only moving one location, why put yourself under the assault fire movement moniker if someone is going to shoot at you later in the turn? So,
okay, it does obviously it puts me at a risk of the next turn if you're going to be right there. So shoot me, but that's fine. Let's do it.
Yeah, but that's risk versus reward.
Exactly, amen, brother. So ID Jester has joined us. What's up, fellas? We are getting into this ATS system, so that's cool. All right, we got 10 people watching. Devin, we're blowing up the internet. Well,
how did that happen?
In our own little way. Okay. All right. So everybody, I'm going to take this J1 squad and I'm going to do what they call crawl into that. So I'm going to market movement. I'm going to crawl, which is of course is Control W. Makes perfect sense. When you crawl, you can assault. You can, or as we said in the chat, ass fire too. Is that correct?
Yes, you can ass fire, assault fire.
But I'm not. But I don't want to. Let's look at a couple of the things why. So let's figure this out. So. Is there any advantage to firing adjacent?
No, it's not like in Squad Leader where you have a point-blank fire.
Oh, okay. Yeah, in Lock and Load you get a little bonus twos, but there is none here. Okay, well, that's good to know. So I would be firing on the 2 column if I fired right now. But Devin's saying, let's wait and use grenades and infiltration. I'm going to trust him, my mighty mentor here. All right, again, so now Devin,
we're a little bit fast and loose with mighty and mentor, but
well, that's fine. We don't need to tell the crowd. All right, so now Devin's got a lot of people to do stuff with here. So, man, Devin, what do you want to do? It's all you. I can't do anything else. I'm done.
Well, yeah, and that comes down to what I want to move in reaction, or if I want to do anything with these things. But let me check. I just want to make sure. About the grenade attack. Yeah, I know.
I know, Todd. I know what I'm doing.
No, I don't.
That's my list.
I just speak with authority to make people think I know what I'm doing. I learned that when I was in the military. If you
That's a
don't know
business
what
too.
you're if you don't know what you're doing, if you speak with enough authority, with conviction, and if you act like you know what you're doing, people will believe you. It has served me well in my life.
Yeah, no, that is 100% accurate. All right, so everybody,
And of course,
Devin's saying kind of what he wants to do.
I also give the caveat to everybody. It's like it's kind of funny because I used to play Flames of War a lot in the miniature game, and
Yep.
everybody would come to me for the rules because I would always say, all right, this is the rule, yada yada yada. But I would also tell everybody, it's like, why are you coming to me with the rules? I only get the rules right about half the time, anyways. What do you? And you idiots have been playing with me for 2 years, and you still, I know where to find the rules, but you listen to me what I say. You guys are idiots. So why can I not find grenade attacks?
Oh, grenade attacks. They're at 12.15.2.
12.15. Oh, there they are. Grenade attacks. Okay, grenade attack routine. But 3. Okay. The other advantage that doing the grenade attack from I2 instead of J1 is if you move into I2 and assault fire, okay, you're only looking at 3 gunfire factors. That really isn't whatever. You don't want to do that. If you'd have just fired from J1 to H2, it would have been on the 6th column, but you'd have the additional +1 for the grain. However, infiltrating into I2 will give you 9 grenade factors, which will put you on the 8 column instead of the 6 column, and you don't have the +1 that you're shooting through the orchard or through the crops with. So yeah, yep. I knew. Yeah, instinctively, cool. Yep. I knew that you wanted to do the grenade attack. I just had to figure out how I got there instinctively. All right. So, anyways, so my turn. I'm going to fire. I'm going to fire E6, and I'm going to fire at those poor guys in C5 because we want to pick on people when they're down. So it's going to be 8 for the squad, 2 for the bar. So it's going to be a grand total of 10. It's going to be +1 for the hedge and not +1 for the orchard. So it's going to be on the 10 column at a +1, no leader modified. So it's going to be 10 +1. It's going to be 4 +1 is going to be a 5. On the 10 column is a C2.
Okay. So these guys are dead, right? Because we assume they're surrendered, meaning they're on their last.
No. They can still take 2 casualties.
Oh, that's because they broke. Okay, and then but then these guys are going to have to take a casualty because.
Yeah, your NCO is going to have to take a casualty to fulfill the casualty requirements.
Which is just a flip, right?
Should be. There you go.
All right, so now morale. We got some interesting chat going on here, but let me get that here in a second. All right, so the 4, he's now got to take that casualty away.
He is already surrendered, so you can't get any worse than that. So the surrendered guy, you don't even have to roll. Actually, hold on. Nope, since he surrendered, I don't think you can apply casualties to him. Hang on, let me check. I don't think. Let me check that. I was reading that last night because that's one thing I always forget about surrendered. That you cannot apply casualties to a surrendered unit. If I can find surrendered.
Scott Eagle says roll. He might make courage.
Oh, there is that, true. But like I said, let's check.
But I guess the question is, go ahead.
10-8-4. Yeah, the question is, can he even? He's going to have to take a morale check anyways, just because of the casualties the stack took. But I want to see. Okay, surrendered. Surrendered units may not be targeted for fire unless other enemy units are in their location or another enemy unit is targeted by a fire for effect. It also hits the surrendered hex. Thus, the only player can soak. Okay, so yeah, okay. I can't shoot at you if you're surrendered by yourself, but since there wasn't since both guys weren't surrendered, I could shoot at you, so he could take the casualties. So yeah, we did everything right.
I find that interesting. You can't shoot at surrendered. I mean, are we just doing Geneva Convention here, or what's going on? That's kind of an odd thing to me, but.
Well, you can't shoot at surrendered units when they're by themselves.
Yeah, right. Okay. All right, but he did take a casualty. He did.
Yes, he did take a casualty.
So, would he be rolling with I mean, I guess
he can't get any worse, but if you roll a 10, has a chance for him to go courage. So just roll to see if he has a chance of going courageous.
Nope.
4, no chance of going courageous, and now the wounded leader will have to take a morale check as well. Actually, he should have taken the morale check first. But
yeah, that's right. He takes it first. Yeah. So okay. So he's at the casualty puts him at a 5, but then he's got the squad next to him, so he's back up to 6. Is that correct?
No, I don't think the leaders, and Scott could probably clarify this, I don't think the leaders take the -1 if they're casual, because when they're wounded, their morale, because he's normally 117, he's now a 116, so his morale is a 6. I'm horrible at explaining things.
Oh,
so
no.
His morale is wounded 6. So, and the stack took 2 casualties. So it's down to a 4, and he's get the morale support from the squad next to him. He's up to a 5.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot it was a C2. That's why dice next to it's nice. 8, he's broken.
Yep.
Yeah, this game, this turn.
Just to add insult to injury, I'm going to go ahead and fire the bar's second rate of fire into him. So it's going to be a 2 plus 2, or no, 2 plus 1. 9 plus 1 is 10, nothing. Flips back over to you.
I can't do anything. All my guys are done.
Oh, that's right. You can't do anything. So flips back over to me. I actually am happy with everything. I don't want to move those guys, and they don't really have anybody that they want to shoot at. They can shoot at. So I am going to pass as well.
And I pass, and then you pass.
And I pass, and yeah, so we're at the end of the. Yep.
Scott Eagle says declare no quarter. Is that possible? Or is that
it isn't squad leader.
I know. And as long as the fire was legit, they can absorb casualties. Okay, so we got that. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, just to irritate my opponents, I'll sometimes take prisoners just so we have to worry about the prisoner rules in ASO.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of comments. Okay. Dev got the leader morale right. Okay, so that's good. All right, so we've all passed. Now the movement and the fire and movement segment is over.
Yep.
Does the collateral fire come off?
Yep.
Can probably delete that, but I'm going to keep it there.
Actually, there's a remove collateral fire marker up at the top.
Oh yeah. All right. Okay. And then we can remove all the fire.
Nope. Don't want to remove any of that yet, because during the infiltration phase, it'll mark if we got to remind us who fired, so they can't do grenade attacks and stuff like that. So you don't want to remove any of the fire to movement markers yet.
Okay. Yeah, this game's gonna be over quick. Okay. Not to my favor. All right. So now we're in the close assault segment. We roll for initiative.
Yep.
I got a 1.
I got a 7.
Okay. So now players alternately use impulses to perform the following actions: grenade attacks or infiltration.
Yep. All right. Now, if I wanted to, because I'm a dick, if I wanted to, I could infiltrate H2 to H3, like so, which would negate your effect at me at a grenade attack. However, that also leaves me with my butt hanging out in the wind there, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to remain in H2 because, 1, I want to show off how grenade attacks work to people, and 2, I wouldn't retreat them anyways. Other than that, honestly, I didn't move anybody. I have no reason to infiltrate anybody. I'm going to pass.
Did I not? I won the initiative, though, right? So I'd be going first.
Did you win the initiative?
Do you go high or low?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, never mind. You won initiative. I'm sorry.
That's no problem. But if you had, that
if
would be
I
an
had
option.
won initiative, yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought I won initiative. Derp.
Yeah. Okay, so I think I'll do that grenade attack first, obviously.
There you go. All right.
So it's multiply the stacking points of the unit. Multiply the stacking points of the unit by 3 after deducting any stacking points for carried weapons.
Correct.
Okay, well, that's interesting. Personnel units in the same location may combine their frag factors for one attack, or may use their frag factors separately to attack different hexes. All right, so like you said, it's a 9.
Yep.
There is no 9 on the chart, so that's an 8.
Yep.
And it's an 8 up 1. I'm sorry, die roll modifier of 1 because of good condition.
For the woods, yep.
So basically, all right, let's roll, see what we get. And it's a 5. So it's a 6. So it's a C1. Nope. No, it's yes, C1.
Yep, it's a C1. So that will actually kill them because they are crew and they've already absorbed 1 casualty. So they are deadified. And there goes the casualty marker, or the courage marker with them. Machine gun remains behind.
Okay.
Now, that was more effective than you trying to shoot at a 6 at a plus 2 dice roll, or the assault fire 3 at a plus 1 dice roll.
Yep. And just using that roll, I would have missed. So,
yep. So that, yeah, it's grenade attacks. You always kind of got to keep grenade attacks in mind because they generally are better than just trying to shoot or assault fire and shoot.
Okay. All right. Scott says no quarter is an optional rule in ATS. Okay, so now it's Devin's turn to decide if he wants to do something.
Yep, I'll pass.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think I'm going to pass as well because this would just put me here, but I got to move in there eventually. So the question is do I get in there at the beginning of my turn or while I'm moving?
Okay, here's another little bit of tactical advice. J2, okay. Infiltrate him into either I3 or J3, so that you will be in position to fire at me in G5 next turn without having to assault move to get into position.
Got it. All right. Beautiful. Did that. Infiltrated there to J3.
Yep. And then that'll put that stack in position to be able to fire on G5 next turn without having to worry about any of those pesky movement modifiers.
So can these guys infiltrate backwards? Oh, you can't see.
Which
C5?
Guy? C5? No. If a unit that is broken cannot move in the same turn they were broken in.
Yep. Okay. All right.
So they cannot. They won't be able to move until next turn.
They're dead meat. All right. And
so then it goes back to me. I pass. So back over to you.
D4. There's nothing I can see wanting to infiltrate into because it just put me in the open or get me out of sight. But I don't want to do that because I got to move in. I'm done. I'm passing everything. So.
All right, then that's it for infiltration. For the infiltration phase.
So melee phase, nothing happens there.
Now,
In the turn segment, both players.
Now we can remove all the fire markers and all that other good stuff.
Okay, done.
Yep.
Check for intimidation. You don't have to worry about that because I don't think, do we? Intimidation.
Intimidation is usually if intimidation only happens when you've got stacked units next to broken units or something silly like that. I'll be honest, intimidation is one of the rules I don't really use a lot because very rarely do I find myself in a situation where units are stacked next to each other where I have to worry about it. Because usually it's either grenade attacks are going to end up breaking somebody, and if they're broken during the grenade attack, they're going to be surrendered, and it's not a situation I've seen that crops up very often. Although I'm sure Scott would have a different opinion on that than me.
Right. Well, that's cool. All right, let's finish this phase, and I'll look at some of the chat there. So let's finish this turn. Yep. Okay, so intimidation. I'm just going to read through the list so people can hear them, if that's cool with you.
Yep.
Remove arrows. Decide whether to remove movement arrows from vehicles. So we don't really have that here. And I kind of already did that with moving the moving markers. But that's only...
That's continued movement for vehicles. Yeah.
Smoke and fire. We don't have fire for effect, fog of war, roll to unjam. All other markers remain. Both players perform the following rally actions. Attempt rally. Attempt to rally broken and surrendered personnel units in the same location as a leader. Leaders and 2 SP units may self-rally. Okay, so here we go. This only affects me. I only have 1 set of units. All right, so what's going on over here at C5, Devin? What's the morale?
Well, first of all, you're going to be looking at your wounded leader who's broken. I got to check something. The morale support, I think, a surrendered... Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Okay, a surrendered is actually a +2 modifier.
Okay, all right.
I think. Let me check the USMC finish, diehard SS, or okay. So the corporal in C5 needs to make morale test. He's going to be a 6 -2 for the surrendered unit he's with, which is going to be 4, but he gets a +1 for the for the good order squad that he's next to, brings him back up to a 5.
7.
So he breaks. Now you have an opportunity to save your surrendered guy because he's not stacked with a good order leader, but he's stacked adjacent to a good order squad, which allow you a limited form of morale to try to bring him up to from non-surrendered status, basically to broken status. So his morale is a 4, and he gets the +1 for the morale support for the unit that's with him. So he is also looking at a 5.
Does the casualty affect him?
Oh, yeah, shit. I forgot about the casualty. So it's 4. 3 + 1 is 4. So yeah, it's a 4.
6.
Okay, so he failed it, which means he's dead.
Oh,
let me check that just to make sure. Because I think if you fail to bring him from the surrendered status, that just flat out kills him, even if he is in good order, or if he's adjacent to a good order. 1084. I really do need to put tabs in my book for commonly flipped 2 pages. Surrendered melee grenades. Okay, surrender. Yeah, eliminate all surrendered units that fail their end of turn segment morale check. So yeah, he's eliminated.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, so suppressed. We don't have that. Frostbite, game turn. Okay. So I think that's it. There's in that phase.
That's going to be it.
Oops. Turn 2 indirect fire segment. All right, let's take a second and look at chat real quick.
Yep, and I gotta step away from the keyboard real quick, so you chatter with the guys that have got the chat going on, and I will be right back.
All right. Well, me too. I actually step away too. So pause a moment, guys, and chat amongst yourselves.
All right, I'm back, but I may get a phone call in a little bit. So,
okay, back. let's see here. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Basically, you declare no quarter, and then you can shoot up any surrendered units. Oh.
I kind of figured that's what no quarter would be. Yeah.
Some discussion of some of the missing things. Blah, blah, blah.
I'm glad you can see this chat because I can't see this group chat.
No, I know it's kind of weird. There's probably a way of doing that. There's a way to chat in Google Hangouts, but the people have to log in and stuff. So
yeah.
Blah blah blah. Let's see. Can you post a shot? Blah blah blah. I think I'll hit the. Sava's funny. Okay. I think I'll hit the can for some more blank fire. Toodles. Assault fire. Okay. All right. Sava, post a shot. No, don't post a shot of that. No, scary. All right. Here we are. I'd say half the chat is about abusing the fact that Scott's abbreviated assault ass, and then it's just gone from there. So, all right, moving on. Turn 2, and this is the roll for initiative on the indirect fire segment. Do we even need to do this? Do we have?
We don't even need to do it because there is no indirect fire. There's nothing in that phase that we would.
To speed this up a little bit, we'll skip that. And now I think I will probably not go into a lot of detail what we're doing, since we've done a little bit of that, and we can just kind of, as much as we can.
Yeah.
So fire and movement segment, roll for initiative.
You got it.
4. I rolled a 4. Devin rolled a 9. Germans go first. Now is when I roll my dice for my guys coming on or not.
If you want to, and remember that will take up one of your impulses. So
correct.
Honestly,
I think about that.
Probably want to do that after you've done some other stuff first.
Yeah, like fire on these guys or fire on these guys. I mean, all I see happening here, Devin, these guys are all dead. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't see. C5 and D4 are dead. And then the other guys, I don't know. We'll see what happens there. I guess I'll fire my J3 guys up on your guys in G5. Okay. It's going to be my guys have a 6 squad, fire factor squad, with a heavy machine gun. So now we know two carrying points -2. So now I'm going to fire my squad, my medium machine gun with my leader at your units in G5 from J3. Yep. So the total fire factor is 12, and it's going to round down to 10. And then the modifiers are the building with +3.
Yep.
And the leader -1, so it's a +2.
Yep. Yep. Ooh, 2, good roll.
+2 is 4. So I got you a C2. Nope. C2.
8 on a 4 is a C2. Well, that's depressing. Because we're going to have to see how I kind of do things. We're going to go ahead and wound the captain and just put 1 casualty on the squad. Basically, I do that because I want him to remain as a full-strength squad as long as possible, so he can give the morale support for rally. And, you know, Captain Dorman is going to be giving his +2 if he's wounded or not, so that doesn't matter. Not for his own rally, but anyways. All right, so anyways, rally or morale check. Dorman, the officer is going to be a 7 because he's wounded. -2 for the casualties the stack took is going to bring it down to a 5. He is still stacked with a non-flipped squad, so it's going to be a +1. So he needs an 8. 10. Oh, but possible courageous roll. Roll it again. 2. No, he is broken. Now the squad is going to be a 9. -1 for the casualty he has is going to be an 8. -2 for the casualties taken. 7, 6. And his leader is broken, so he doesn't get any morale for that. So he's going to be a 6. He is a 6, so he makes it. But Captain Dorman is broken. That is depressing.
And now I will fire my rate of fire.
I was going to assume that you were going to fire your rate of fire again. Yep.
10. All right. So he's done.
Yeah, such a good
Your
roll
turn.
followed up by such a bad roll. Crap. They've already fired.
Scott thanked us for coming, doing this. It's my pleasure, Scott. It's fun.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire my stack down at B8. The LMG and the crew and the Sergeant Scala is going to fire at your squad in D4. Let me check for line of sight purposes. Clips the crops. So it's going to be +1 for the crops, +1 for the hedge. So it's going to be a 5 rounded down to the 4 column, +2 -1 for the leader. So 4 + 1. 9 + 1 is 10 is nothing. I'm going to go ahead and take rate on that. So it's exact same roll again. 1 + 1 this time is going to be a 2 on the 4 column, which is a C2.
Morale is at 2. His morale's at 2. Is that correct?
Yes, his morale is a 2 because his morale is currently a 4 -2 for the casualties taken this turn. So
he's broken.
2.
Roll a 5. Okay. My turn.
Yep.
Okay, so I would assume I would, as the German, I want to grab this American light machine gun, right? I can fire it.
Yep. Now here's the tricky thing about it. You can only pick up weapons during the infiltration phase.
Okay.
So now what you can do, crawl into that hex. You don't want to assault move because you're only moving 1 hex. So no reason putting yourself under the assault movement penalty. Crawl into H2 and fire at me in G5. You'll still be able to pick up, with the assault fire. You'll still be able to pick up the weapon during the infiltration phase.
All right, crawled I2 to H2 into the woods. Crawling essentially is using all your movement factors, right, to move 1 hex.
And one location. One location. That only comes into play when you got like pillboxes and you're trying to say move from a pillbox into a building adjacent. Yeah, it's you gotta watch that. It's not 1 hex, it's 1 location.
Okay. So there he is. Now he's going to fire. He's at 6, which is half to 3, which is really half to 2. And she's firing into building, so it's 2 + 3. So it's I need to roll a 1.
Yep.
Nope. Okay. And do I go ahead and mark him fired as well? Typically,
yes. Mark him as fired. Yep.
I gotcha. Your turn.
Yep. We're gonna go ahead and add Sergeant Allen. He's going to go ahead and fire at the broken squad in D4. So it's going to be 8 plus the. Let me go ahead and eliminate him. Hey, I could roll bad.
I know.
10 at +1. 7 is an 8 is going to be nothing. He's going to take his rate. So 2 + 1. 10 + 1 is 11. So nothing. Big fat goose egg that time. Flips back over to you.
See, so there's no need for me to be negative now, is there?
See.
All right, let's try to get those guys on. So, now do I have to say what I'm rolling for, or just roll and then
I think decide? You roll and then decide. That's the impression I got from the.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be. I have to roll a 1, so and I roll a 5. All right.
Nope.
So I assume I get 2 rolls, and then my next impulse I can try to roll 1 more time. So, all right.
No, it's only once per turn. I did read that in the scenario card.
Okay.
Well, we'll take the squad in G5, and he'll fire on the medium machine gun in J3. So it's going to be 8 -1 for the casualties, 7, which is going to round down to the 6 column, +1 for the hedge. I can't use Dorman because he's broken. So it's going to be 6 +1. 2 +1 is a 3, which is going to be a C2.
Which unit? I'm sorry, J3?
J3, yes.
It's a C2?
Yep.
It's going to be one of those scenarios I need to play solo for a few times to try to figure out. But it's good because you've shown me a ton of things that I didn't. Well, I honestly haven't read the rules that close enough yet. So they're all in there. I just haven't read them close enough. So
well, and it's not so much that it's just it's actual tabletop experience. I mean,
right.
you know, until you actually start pushing counters around and seeing how things work on the table, that's when things really start to firm up and gel for you. So,
all right. So morale, corporal fights, feats first. So I'll go fights. He's at a 6, -2, +1 for the squad. So he's at
correct.
5.
Correct.
7, he's broken. The squad is 6 -1 for 5. The leader doesn't matter now because he's broken.
Yep. But it's 6.
He's broken too.
Well, yeah, the odds would have been worse. His morale is 6 -1 for the casualties taken, which would have been 5 -2 for the casualties that the stack took, which would have made it a 3.
Oh yeah, I forgot that.
Yeah, I used to forget that all the time too. So,
all right,
don't feel bad. Oops, I forgot to mark him as fired. That's it. I don't want to move my bazooka guy. That's it. I'll say that I'm done. Pass.
I'm done doing nothing. Can do anything else. Well, I guess my broken guy here can move back or
just the broken leader. The broken squad, since it was broken this turn, can't.
Oh. Should I move my leader back? I mean, I don't know. It seems like in a way should.
Okay,
here's
what you want to do during the infiltration phase. Infiltrate him from C5 to D4 so he can give his leadership bonus to try to rally the guy in D4. You don't want to move him because if for some reason I had another unit out there, then I'd be shooting at him either as crawling or assault. Just keep him where he's at. He's safe. I don't have anybody that can currently shoot at him. And just during the infiltration phase, since the leader wasn't broken this turn, he can move and infiltrate. Then just move him or infiltrate him into D4. And if he rallies, hopefully he'll be able to bring the squad in D4 back around as well.
Okay.
Now, the problem is he won't be able to bring the machine gun with him, but, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. All right. I mean, let's face it. All right, so, okay. So I guess I won't do anything with these guys. I can't.
Well, I guess. I guess we're done. Yeah. So pass.
Close assault, initiative. I got a 1.
Should I even bother? Hey!
Oh, should we roll again or?
Yep, roll again.
6.
10.
Devin, the man of extremes. All right.
Oh, I tell you, peaks and valleys, man. Peaks and valleys.
Okay. So now, infiltration. I'm sorry. When can I pick up the machine guns?
It's during the infiltration phase.
All right.
So as part of the infiltration. So yeah, now if you want to, that 656 up there in H2 can pick up the pick up the LMG. Yep, there you go.
Done. All right. Your turn.
I'm good. Pass.
All right. Now, Question is, would I want to infiltrate? Wait, these guys all broke. They can't do it. So I'm talking J3. They can't do anything. They all broke this turn.
Correct.
How do you? Question. Here's a question. We can remember on this one. How do you remember who broke this turn versus the previous turn if it's a big scenario?
If for a big scenario, you just kind of have got to remember there is no way to mark it. I've never seen any way to mark it other than you just have to remember it.
Okay. Okay. So then who broke? So these guys broke this turn. They can't. Sorry, D4 broke this turn. C5 did not. So C5 is going to infiltrate the leader into there.
Yep.
To D4. Okay. So now I'm done.
Pass.
Pass.
Pass. All right.
And whoops, nope. Into turn segment. So now we can remove all the move markers.
Yep. Now you move all the fire to move markers and collateral fire and all that other good stuff.
Okay.
And honestly, with infiltration, I don't know why you bother, because usually well, I guess rally in some scenarios. Oh, excuse me. Would make a difference on initiative. So we'll just go ahead and roll it anyways. Hey, look at that. I'm going to lose again.
Come on. Why don't I get those when I'm firing? Okay, that's 3 1s in a row. All right. Okay, so oh yeah, so this is rally. So I'm just looking through the list here real quick. All right, so I'm going to attempt to rally. I'll start over here on D4.
Okay.
So just 6. The leaders
straight up 6.
Where's that 1? Bam! Oh, come on.
Right there.
Seriously. I'll take it, but that's weird. You know, sometimes it happens. All right, so my son was just reading this thing about whoops, sorry, I'm on the wrong. Reading this thing about odds. Okay, combat, movement, combat. So I'm no longer broken. All right, so now I guess to rally. So
now you can rally the squad.
The guy's at a 4, but he's got the leader, so it's at a 5.
Correct.
5.
Hey.
Yay! Now, I was going to say something negative. I'm not going to say it. Yay! All right. So let's go now to my. Oh wait.
I got a guy who's broken. So we got Captain Dorman. He's a 7, but he's got a full strength squad with him, so he's got a +1 on his morale support for an 8-3. He's good. He recovers. Silly American paratroopers in their high morale, I tell you.
Look at that 9, baby. All right, my turn. Corporal fights in J3. He's that casualty. Okay, so he's a 6, and he's got the 3 guys, so he's a 7.
No, they're not in good order though. They're broken, so they don't count.
Okay, 6.
Let me check that real quick.
And he doesn't add his own leadership to the.
No, he doesn't add his. Non-broken friendly units. It has to be non-broken.
Okay.
So yeah, he's a straight up 6. So which means the squad can't attempt to rally.
Okay, cool. All right, and I think that's it.
Yep.
3 indirect fire segment. Let me check the chat real quick.
Yep.
People talking about building their collection. You can pick up weapons during a move impulse as well. So says Scott Eagles.
Okay, I will trust his word on that.
So
then we'll
even when you crawl.
With the time lag, it may take 30 seconds or so for him to get a response back to that. So let's just go ahead and assume that when you crawled into there, does picking up a weapon cost a movement point? We'll just assume that you've got it in. Because even if you'd have crawled in there...
He says yes.
Yeah, all right, there you go. So you have the machine gun regardless.
So could I have used it in that fire then?
No, good question.
Scott Eagles, yes. If you're responding that fast, Scott, that's like no lag at all.
Yeah, that's very little lag.
Oh yeah, just a reminder again, I've said this earlier, but since, oh man, we don't have as many viewers on here. Shoot. When we had the 10, I wish I would have said this. I remember Tony and Mitch are playing tonight just on VATS, and you can join them watching there and join in Skype. What time is that, Tony? Is that, I thought it was 7:30 Central, but I don't remember. So please tell us the time on that.
Like
I will
5
be at
o'clock
a
my
gala
time.
ball, being all ritzy, nice, fancy, so I won't see that. So picking up a weapon costs 1 movement point. Oh wait, now Scott says no. So maybe we do have a lag here about using it. That it would seem odd to me that I could crawl in there, pick it up. Well, see, that's funny that if it costs you a movement point, I thought crawling used all your movement.
Crawling does use all your movement, so if it takes 1 movement point to pick it up, you would have had to have salt moved in there, which wouldn't have changed anything because I had already fired my guy anyways. But I was just trying to go through procedurally.
Okay, but then the question still remains. So if I had
Could you have
assaulted in
fired?
there, could I use it?
Could you have fired at the same turn? Yeah, I'm going to let Scott answer that.
I think he's saying no. It's a little tough to tell which one he's answering because we've asked a lot of questions. It doesn't matter at this point, but Scott, if you wouldn't mind typing that out, say, you know, uh, yes, you can fire the same time you pick it up. I think that's really the question. And yes, you can pick it up with you crawl, or no. I think not. Okay, where are we? So he picked it up. We're good there. We're in the indirect fire segment. Nothing happens. We're going to skip that.
Yep.
Fire and movement. Rolling initiative. 1. Oh, come on. That's like, I'll take it. I'm going to take it, but come on.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay, so Scott says you can crawl and still pick up a weapon. That's surprising. Okay.
Okay. Well, there you go then. You were able to crawl in there and pick up the weapon.
So then
But since crawling takes up your
is,
entire movement.
the second question is, can you fire that weapon? You can fire a weapon picked up during movement as long as the weapon itself isn't already fired this turn. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Wow, man, that's pretty that's pretty powerful. And then I guess the question for you, either one of you, is there a penalty for using captured weapons?
I think it's a -1 or a +1 dice or -1 firepower. I think there is. Scott, you're going to have to answer this one.
And Scott says, or been moved, which would also make sense, he thinks.
Yeah.
So if that weapon had been moved this turn,
yeah,
probably could, yeah, which makes sense. No penalty for captured weapon. Wow,
okay, there you go. I'm thinking squad leader.
ATS is bloody. Yep, so am I. That's an ASL thing, he says. Okay. My turn in the fire and movement segment. All right. So many choices with so little nice options here. These guys are broken. They can't do anything anyway. So I guess I'll fire these guys on here to try to break them. Well, here's the question. I'm not, can that guy from H2, can he see to E6? I would say no. You want to check that line of sight, Devin?
H2. No, because it crosses the G3, G4 hex site, and you can't see it. Yeah.
Edge.
Edge, yeah.
If it had gone straight down that, well, tell me that. If it had gone straight down that hedge line, so like shooting into G5 or F5, for example, would he be able to shoot that or no? Because it's still crossing that.
Should have line of sight.
Because it's crossing that corner.
Yeah, well, no, it's crossing along. There are for line of sight. There is rules covering that. I just don't remember what they are off the top of my head.
That's fine. we'll stick with it for now. Okay, so he can't fire there. So I guess I'll just fire this guy. So I'm going to fire H2 into G5. So make sure I get the fire right. 6 squad firing a 5 light machine gun would be a 10.
Yep.
+2, +3, 10 +3. Oh, here come my high rolls. Seriously, I get the low rolls on initiative. So that's a 10 on a 10, so that's nothing. So okay.
You can still do raid.
Yeah, true. So 4. Now let's do that 1. No, okay, never mind. Roll a 4, 7. So, fire. Your turn.
All right. Well, since you've already shot at Captain Dorman, he's not going to get shot at again. I don't have to worry about that. We'll go over Sergeant Allen in E6 and fire on the squad in D4. Those will be
Mm-hmm.
8, 9, 10. It's going to be +1 for the hedge. So 10 +1 is going to. That's like a C3.
Yep,
Yeah,
so
that's a
everyone's dead.
C3. Yeah, that wipes out that stack.
Okay. I am now going to roll for my guys to come on. I have to roll a 2, roll a 4, so that's done. So I'm done. My turn's done.
Actually, you know what? You know what? Go ahead and bring one of the stacks on.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was talking about. If we reach this
Yeah,
point, let's just bring it on.
just bring one. Bring group. Yeah, whichever group you want to bring them on.
So we're at 1 o'clock, and I think we'll finish this game. But just in case we don't, I'm going to bring the tank on this turn. So I can only bring on one a turn.
Yeah, you can only bring on one a turn.
Okay. All right, let's bring this tank on so we can get some tank usage.
Alrighty.
So what I'm
Coming
showing here,
out with
Devin, I've got it highlighted so people can see what the it's a 35R. Oh, I don't have my 35R card. Someone sent me that to help me out since I didn't get it in my chart. I should have actually printed that out. Hold on, Devin, I got to pull that up.
Okay, I think I've got one in my against all odds box. If I need to go check that, let me know.
No, I've got one, so I just got to pull up my phone here. That's one of the things that was missing from my basic game pack. Mm-hmm. All right, so I've got it pulled up there. I don't think I need anything on it right this second for moving, although I don't really know that card that well yet, so a lot of stuff on there. All right, so I've got a 35R. It's got a is it cross-country movement of 7 and an assault movement of 4.
Correct.
So I could do some firing with it if I only move 4.
Yep.
So now I need to look at what do crops or fields, what do they call them here? Hedge, hillside, high wall, hill, cliff. Do they affect movement here?
Hedges and walls, you have to make an immobilization test afterwards, I believe. Let's see. Walls. Maybe not.
Hedge has a little red mark there. Hedge Huckside has a red mark on the movement thing, which makes me think that it only has to check immobilization.
Yeah, I think it's immobilization. No, I think it's after. I'm checking the rules right now to.
Oh, Scott gave us a rules reference. I'm going to refer to all these later. 11.3.33 for the skinny on picking up weapons during movement. Okay, cool.
Oh, okay. Wheeled vehicles may cross hedge hex sides, but must roll on the immobilization before. Heavy weapons may never be pushed or towed. Oh, okay. So yeah, it's just wheeled vehicles. So tracked vehicles have no problem going over a hedge.
And look at walls. And walls are, well, they're fine too for tracked. 1+ cost of
Probably.
terrain. It does say possible floor pan hits.
I don't think my bazooka's in range to get an op fire off yet. So
okay.
Let's see. Unless using a gate, all eligible units pay 1 movement point plus cost of terrain when crossing a wall, hex side, and wheeled vehicles may not cross except through a gate. Half-track vehicles may cross, but roll on mobilization before crossing. So yeah, there you go.
I think I am going to one, two, three, 4.
A phone call, so I'm going off headset for a second.
Yep, no problem. So I think what I'm going to do here, I gotta figure out, I gotta write down these codes for the VATS module. Make it easier than doing this. Says you move on the vertexes here. So my plan is to move them on this road, E1, E2, F2 for a total of 4, and then fire on these guys. It's going to be a terrible shot, but it's starting anyway. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do when he does that. Thanks for all the rules references, Scott and Uzi. Thank you all who've been watching too, by the way. Okay, cool. So we've had about carrying a weapon and effects on firing at 11.3.351. We've talked about smoke. I don't have a rule reference. We've talked about shooting. To get the details on that at 12.7.4. We've talked about grenades, 12.15.2. I don't know what the 10.8.4 reference is. Is that surrender? Is that something else? Crawling, picking up weapons, 11.3.33. So we'll do that. I'm pretty much getting destroyed in this this game here, but that's cool. That's part of the fun of it. We're in turn 3, and Devin's just he's just sitting in these buildings, just doing great. I've eliminated once, half squad, then a machine gun and H2. Who was courage, so good on me. But Devin has destroyed a squad, 2 squads, and a leader. Over on my right, his left flank. He's got these 3 guys sitting in these buildings that, and plus this 4th guy that's just like, give me a break, you know. So it's tough. As an American, there's a couple things you could do. I mean, you could hole up in these 3 buildings, even these 3 building hexes, and call it good. But this way you're spread out. The way Devin's done it, where he's in B8, E6, G5. Now I have to spread out and go get him. Though he's just in one building.
All right, I'm back. What was all that you just went over?
I was just talking about other options you could do. All right, so I got my tank here. I've got him coming on the board here. I've tried to turn his vertex, so he comes on E1. He's facing that vertex of E2, F1.
Yep.
So that's 1. I guess I can move him now. I'm going to...
Tracked vehicle on a road, I believe, is only half.
Oh.
Yep. Tracked vehicle on a road is 1/2 movement point.
Or do you do button up and stuff in ATS?
There really technically is no buttoned up in ATS. It's just suppressed and not suppressed. So.
Oh, let me recalculate. I forgot about the half movement. Let me redo this there. So that'd be 1.5. I think it's going to be the same. I'm going to do the same thing, I think. Okay, so half. 1.
Yep.
And then make sure I got this next one right here. So we said going over the hedge is 1. So 2, 3. And I don't know why there's any reason for me to move. I guess I'll move here for 4. Assault move.
Yep.
And then I'll go ahead and fire. Well, I guess I can save it for later.
You could, yeah.
But why? So, all right. So now we got some situations here about firing this guy.
A bunch of situations.
All right. So I obviously want to fire at the guys in G5. So now what's the what do I do here? I've got 1 machine gun. I've got 1 coaxial machine gun. So that means he's on the turret. And the turret is facing in the right direction, so I don't have to mess with that.
Yep.
So let's fire the machine gun first. Well, here's a question. Can I fire them both?
Yes, you can fire both of them at the same time.
Okay. Okay. All right. So it's as though Devin anticipated my question. So 4 fire factors on the machine gun. Are we using just the cover state effects F1 column, F1 table? Or do we
Not
use the
really.
A1 hit? Not really. Okay.
Since it's a machine gun, oh, good question, because it's a vehicle moving.
Overwatch fire only applies to personnel and light weapons. So I couldn't fire him later. I got to fire him
Right,
now.
yeah, okay, yeah. The vehicle, the main gun couldn't fire later. Yeah, you're right. We got
Okay.
into Mitch and I were talking about that when they were playing last time. Yeah,
So,
it's covered. It's F1. It's cover state stuff.
okay. All right. So it's +3 for the full masonry.
Yep. It's assault move, so it's
And
half firepower.
so it's 2. 2
Yep.
plus 2 plus 3.
Yep. 2 plus 3.
Roll a 1. Where's that 1? Bam! Got a 1.
Nice.
So
Yeah, that's a
checks out
C1.
as a, yeah.
Which is going to do that and flip the squad. Bloop. All right. Now, do I check morale now, or is part of the regular fire? Now,
That's what I was
since
thinking.
I think since it's the same fire, go ahead and shoot at him with the main gun, and then we'll worry about morale at the end of that.
All right. Well, let's look at that. Firing our first.
Actually,
gun.
no, because if a machine gun does rate of fire multiple times, you have to check after every time. So let's go ahead and do the morale now. So it's going to be Captain Dorman is going to be 7, -1 for the casualties took is going to be 6. He does not get the morale support because he does not stack with a full strength squad. So it is a 6. 4, he's good. The squad is going to be 7, -1 for the casualties took is going to be a 6, +2 for the captain, 7, 8. And he's good as well.
Brother. Okay. Now the gun has got a 37. It says 37D. So the D is what we look at.
Yep, that's the chart that you look off to find your base number.
Hit probability table. It's 2 hexes away, so it's on a 9.
Yep.
However, assault fire vehicle main armament +5. Okay, so I'm at a +5 so far.
Yep.
And +3 for the building, so +8.
Yep.
So I get again a 1.
You'll need a 1 to hit.
3. Okay. Do I get a burst on target on that?
No, you only get burst on targets when you successfully hit the target.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's
unlike in ASL when you get the acquisition marker for just shooting at a hex or shooting at a target.
We're going to stick with so I'm going to let me mark this guy as fired, and then I'm going to tell you what Scott said here. So combat.
Okay.
Oh, that's interesting. I can say fire main armament and fire coaxial machine gun. Wow, you can really mark these things up. Okay. Scott said, consider using the building as a target in this case. Your firepower is going to be halved anyway due to masonry.
High explosive versus masonry, yeah.
We'll keep playing. Let's see if we come across this again. But so what's he saying? Just target the building?
Yeah, basically you do it's kind of area fire where you're shooting at the building instead of shooting at the troops in it. And I think you ignore the terrain effects modifier, but if you hit, then you have to add in the terrain effects modifier. There's some rules differences between firing at a hex and firing at the infantry. I normally ignore it and just fire at the infantry.
That's an interesting. I like that as an option because then you do get burst on target. That burst on target affects the He says Dev's got it, so you got it and understood it.
Yeah.
So then,
So
but then
basically,
that bot marker's on that location. Then wow.
yeah. But you're looking at half your. At that point, you're looking at half your gun factors and +3 for the masonry building cover at that point. So it's basically you want to decide if you want the +3, if you want the cover state to be in your to hit or on the dice roll. So that's one way to look at it, I guess.
Okay, I'll have to read that. So Scott does bring up his abbreviation again. No bot for S-Fire, though.
Okay, yeah. I forget that a lot, too.
All right, so I've moved. I'm done.
Okay. Well, there's a tank out there now. That is distressing. What do I want to do? All right, I'm going to move G7. I'm going to spend 2 points to go into F6. And then 2 points to go into E6.
Okay. What's the range on the
bazooka? What is it, 1944, 4 hexes?
Oh, it says right there. Yep. Okay. Okay. Gonna fire.
And I'm gonna pass. No, God, no. It's +5 for me to hit if I'm assault. If I'm assault moving.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Well, let me check just to make sure. 10 not to fire ordinary. Well, besides which, I'm in a building and I'm not going to fire the bazooka from inside the building.
Oh, you can't, can you?
You can. It just hurts you really, really bad. You have to take 2 casualties if you fire it from a bazooka from inside the building.
Really? An automatic 2 casualties?
Automatic 2 casualties.
Wow. In lock and load, you can't fire them at all from the building. You can't fire anything. Piats, nothing. So, and then
that's odd. Piats can be fired from buildings.
Well, that's what I thought too.
Piats just a spring-loaded weapon.
Yeah,
but
it makes it simpler, I guess.
Yeah, it does.
But it bummed me out because I had a Piat I wanted to use. Okay, all right, my turn. I can't do anything. I'm done. All my guys have done stuff.
Let's see, what have I got? Those guys, these guys have not fired.
Well,
that's
hold
right,
on. Hold on. These broken guys, could they crawl back into these woods to get out of your range of fire?
Were they broken this turn?
Last turn?
Yeah,
I can't remember. Were they broken?
No, I don't think you fired. It was last turn.
So I'd like to do that.
All right, go ahead and crawl them back.
If you allow that.
That's cool. Wow.
But they can't fire anything, so
I'm perfectly fine with that. All right. Well, in that case, I won't be firing at them. I will be firing at your guys' stage 2. So it's going to be 6 fire. It's going to be +1 for the hedge. And see, that's the one difference between ASL and ATS. In squad leader, it's a +2 if you're firing into the woods. But here, it's just a +1 for being good cover. All right, so it's going to be a 6 on the 6 column, +1 for the hedge, +1 for the woods. So 6 + 2, -2 for the leader directed. So it evens out.
Yippee! Okay, so now I'm done. Now you do whatever you want.
Let's see. Now I've got, what have I got? I got those guys fired. Basically, the only other guy I've got that can do anything is my squad down here in B8, but you've still got a big old stack of big, beefy, burly Germans. Yeah, I'll go ahead and pass.
Sounds good. So now we're done.
Yep.
Now we go to the close assault segment.
Didn't want to remove those yet.
Nope.
You always got to keep those markers on for potential grenade attacks and stuff like that during the infiltration phase. In this scenario, it's not that big a deal because it's so small we can remember what everybody did, but procedurally you don't remove it until after.
Yep, good. Okay.
Infiltration.
I don't think there's anything I'd want to do.
Yeah, roll it anyways.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's fine. I was gonna say if I rolled a 5 again, I won again. I'd be like, what? Okay.
Yeah, honestly, I don't see there's much you would want to do. You can't infiltrate with the vehicle, and the one squad that you do have is in good firing position. So, and you could infiltrate J2 even further back if you wanted to, but why?
Yeah, I mean, you're not gonna leave your building and stuff. Oh, I'm gonna come assault you. Okay, sure, go ahead. All right. All right. So
Yeah,
post assault.
I'm not gonna. Actually, you
All
know
right.
what? I
Oh yeah.
will infiltrate. I will infiltrate somebody. We'll infiltrate the squad with the bazooka to D5.
Oh, okay, cool. All right.
And I believe that's going to be it for infiltration.
Sounds good. All right. End of turn segment. Now we remove markers.
Yep.
You did that? Okay.
Yep.
And check for intimidation, remove arrows, smoke fire, FFE, fog of war, roll, gen jam on both players following rally actions. Do you have any rally to do?
No, but I rolled anyways.
Oh, do you roll for initiative here too?
Yep. Most times it doesn't make that much of a difference, but sometimes if you get a lot of units in next to each other, good order enemy squads can reduce, other
Yeah.
units morale. It's a situational. It's a very rare occurrence, but it could happen. Like if you got three, you got say you got someone in I4, H4, and an enemy unit in I5. If they're broken, they could rally first, which could affect your morale for any checks you make in I4 and H4. So, it does make a difference. It just doesn't come up that often.
Well, let me ask you a question here real quick. Should I have infiltrated this guy, my stack in J2 to the field in I2, so I would be next to this squad to gain another point for morale?
You could have, yeah, because that would have given you +1 to your MSR. Yeah.
I mean, again, I don't think you're going to be coming out after me up there because there's no need for that. So,
well, and since it was during the infiltration phase, there's not really anything I could have done to interfere with it to begin with.
Yeah. Mm.
So yeah, actually, that's not a bad move. Infiltrate him into I2, so he gets the +1 from the MSR. Yeah, from the good order squad there. Yeah, good catch. Very good catch.
All right, so now let's roll for morale. So he's a 6, and now he can take advantage of the squad next to him. So he's at a 7.
Yep, he's at a 7.
Let's see if it helped. Oh, yay! He would have unbroke anyway, but that's cool. All right. So combat broken. Yay. So now these guys get him. So now they're at 5.
Yep.
6 for the corporal, 6 for the squad. Yep. No, 7 for the squad.
7 for the squad. Yep, you got it.
Yeah, all right. And again, they would have rallied anyway, but that's fine. Sheesh. What am I doing here? I am broken off. Okay. All right. That's it for end of turn.
Yep.
I don't think I'm going to eliminate you out of these 3 buildings in 3 more turns, but we'll see. Who knows?
Well,
maybe I'll get these guys coming in.
Yeah, if those Fallschirmjägers, because that 777, yeah, that's a kill stack right there. That can do a lot of damage to me. Especially with the simple fact that you've got that LMG and you've got the tank on as well. Yeah, it's still possible. The problem is going to be you can probably secure G5, or G5 and H5, but since you need 3 building hexes, getting the third one's probably going to be a little bit more difficult. If you're able to take out the guys in G5 this turn and get the other reinforcements on, you'd have a good shot at getting E6. But yeah, it's going to be a tough one. If just going straight up dice rolls for the reinforcements, you're looking at less than 25% chance of one of the 2 reinforcements coming on.
Right.
So, that's why I don't like variable dice rolls for reinforcements. Either give me the reinforcements or don't. Because if it's variable, there's a chance they're not going to show up at all. So, and that tends to make a
Okay.
scenario unbalanced.
Yes. All right. So now we roll for fire movement initiative, correct?
Yep, because we got no indirect phase.
3. I forgot.
Yay. Yay.
All right.
Um,
Well, I rolled low, right? So I
yeah.
go first.
Yep. I haven't won an initiative yet when it mattered.
Um. Oh, broken units can't infiltrate, Scott said.
I
Yes.
thought they. Oh, yeah, you're right. They can move, but they can't infiltrate.
But
So
these
if
guys have
they're,
to be here.
they can't move on the turn they were broken, but they can move on turns after they were broken. They just can't infiltrate. Period. If they're broken, yeah, that's right. Yep, no, that's right. But like you said, your dice rolls rallied in many ways, regardless of the +1 MSR. See, it's those little nuances and niggling little things that just tend to throw a monkey wrench in everything.
Yeah. So then that changes the die roll for or changes the. Uh,
Would have changed the modifier, but you made the rally test
yeah.
without the modifier, anyways.
So we're fine there. Okay. Well, good to know.
Yep, you're good there.
All right. So now what do I want to do here? Someone said, Scott said you can fire Piat has no black blast and ATS. So I think you knew that. You
Yeah.
said that, Devin. So
Yep. Yep. It's a spring loaded weapon. Same with ASL.
and broke and broken units can't move. All right. So what I'm gonna do? You're gonna move that bazooka up here at some point to get close to me, but you can move it there, and could you fire in it this turn? Looks like you could. Ah, caramba. Hmm. 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 Well, I just want to fire the tank again because it's fun. All right, so I'll take that chance. So you hit me. So, all right, so now here we are. If I fire like the coaxial machine gun, can I shoot and I don't shoot the main armament, for example? Can I shoot it later?
Scott's going to have to answer that one
Okay.
because I think not, because that kind of falls. And like I said, I'm probably wrong on this, but I think that kind of falls under the Overwatch opportunity Overwatch. If, but like I said, I could be wrong. Scott would have to answer that one.
Okay. I suppose
Actually, you
that.
should be able to, because if you have a machine gun with multiple rates of fire, you can fire. Yeah, because you're not moving, but it's a vehicle. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. So I have a kid texting me about something here. Let me. I'll be done. Okay. Someone needs a ride. Okay. Still the taxi service. That's cool. All right. Parent Uber. We'll fire the machine gun. So it's a 4 up through with a 3 modifier, 3 die.
Yep.
So again, the 1, 3. Okay.
Nope.
And combat fired coaxial machine gun. And muzzle fire the main gun at you, because why not?
Okay,
So
now, like
again, on
Scott
the
was saying, you have the option of firing at me or the building. If you fire at the building, you're not going to have the +3 to hit, but you will have the +3 if you actually do hit. And it's going to be half gunfire because it's high explosive against a masonry. I'm pretty sure that's what Scott was referring to as high explosive versus masonry. I know what's high explosive versus buildings is halved when it comes to mortars,
It
but I
says
wasn't.
have HEFFE bomb
Oh, okay.
on the cover of state effects. Full of masonry +3 have HEFFE bomb.
Yep.
That's interesting. But then I'd get a bot marker on there.
Yep.
I'll just fire at you.
Yeah, because you don't have the +5 for moving this turn.
Yeah.
So
So
you're going to be base to hit is 9. It's
plus
just basically going to be +3 for the Mason building. So you're looking at a 6 to hit, and there's no other
6.
modifier. Hey, there you go. And you'll get a bot marker on it. So you'll be rolling the 37 millimeter, which is going to be the 4 column, but it's halved high explosive, so it's going to be the 2 column. But there's no modifiers to the dice roll.
10.
Except for when you roll a 10. But yeah, like I said, make sure you get the bot marker on there.
Can you access that from the tank, or do you have to pull down the...
I think you got to pull that down from the counters.
It'd be nice if you could pull that from that, but that's cool. I don't want to make a module, so I am not going to complain. So... I guess you normally put, I mean, if there's a lot of tanks and stuff,
if there's a lot, you'd want to identify, what you're going to do. But really, since there's only one thing in this scenario that can put a bot marker on.
Yeah, we're good. That's cool. You can change the ID of it, though.
And you can change the color of it.
Okay. That's it. That's my turn. Or that's mine. That's my...
Boy. All right. Well, that's 657. They're going to go ahead and shoot at your squad in H2. So it's going to be a 6, +1 for the hedge, +1 for the woods, -2 for the leader. So 6 straight. 7, that's going to be a nothing. And back over to you.
Guess I'll return the favor. And so that'll be a 10 shot on you in the building, 10 + 3. Okay. Nice and low would be awesome. Nice and low. Come on. So 7 on a 10 is a C1.
Yeah, I'm going to have to put that on the squad. Well, I'm going to have to because I don't want to kill off the leader. Oh,
I think you want to get rid of your captain. Come on, man.
No, I don't think I want to do that. So I'll put a casualty on. All right. Morale, it's going to be 7 for the wounded leader, 6 for the casualties taken. No morale support because it's not a full squad with him. So it's going to be a 6. He breaks. The
captain doesn't support him?
No, that was the captain. That was the captain.
Oh, that's the captain. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, roll leaders first. Yep. So the squad is going to be 7, -1 for the casualties, 6, -1 for the casualties taking this turn is a 5. Leaders broken, no morale support there, so it's a 5. He's good, but the captain breaks again. Alrighty. You're gonna keep break?
4.
Yep.
Yeah. 5 + 3 is 8, so nothing.
That's gonna be nothing. Yep.
Certainly, I've fired enough holes in that building, though. I'm just going straight through all my previous bullet holes. All right.
I am actually going to pass.
Scott says bots are great.
Bots are great.
Markers are ruthless. Uzi says masonry makes bazookas into a bar.
That they do. Without
Scott
the rate of fire.
Todd, not that now that you have a better chance of hitting, target the units rather than the building. Okay, so Scott was kind of saying that would be hitting the building itself would be if you had a high modifier. Okay, Uzi, a friend wrecked my Panzer IVs with a French 25 millimeter anti-tank gun and bot. So, all right, what you doing there, Devin?
My throat is doing something.
Oh, yikes.
Dry all of a sudden. Hang on a second.
All right. Oh, wow. Hopefully Devin's getting recovered. Taking a drink out of his fish bowl there or something. Hopefully he's all right. I guess I could check the video, make sure nothing's happening there. Left the picture there. Love that little psychedelic thing it does.
was really odd. I got a little tickle on my throat. My voice went out on me for a little bit there. All right, so you fired at me with the machine gun, so it's back over to me. I am going to pass again.
Okay. Scott answered the question. You guys were asking about this earlier. Yes, you can fire all the AFV's weapons in the same impulse or split it up in any way you like. So.
Yep. Thank you, Scott. We love you.
Okay, here. Just I've fortunately, the cool thing about this scenario, I don't have a lot to do, so it shouldn't take me long to decide. Do that. So I got to move these guys. I could try one more time. Let's try move. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna crawl my guys from J2 to J3. They're gonna go back to where they went.
Yeah,
the guys are having a little bit of problems. They're like, I don't want to go back in there.
You may want to think about moving them to I3 instead, just so they get the morale support of the other squad that's in H2.
Oh yeah, they're in the open anyway, so it doesn't matter.
At the end of the day, they're behind a hedge. Either hex that they're in. At least in I3, they get the MSR.
Okay. So
and if you want to, you can actually form those guys up into a fire group next turn and be a really bad firepower at me.
There you go. All right, so I crawled in there. Want to do anything?
Yep. The squad can fire. The machine gun can't, but the squad can.
Oh, do you want to op fire?
I don't have anybody. I don't have anybody. My the only guy who can see him already fired.
They fired. Sorry.
Yep. No worries. No worries.
Oh. Why? Okay. Well, here's a question.
Okay.
I forgot they had fired. Is there any reason?
Oh, do you want to run them up? Run them up into H4 so you can grenade attack me?
Yeah, I don't know. Why don't I move into H5? Do I get the benefit
of
cover
actually, H5? You can move into H5 because you got 5 movement points. You go I2, I4, H4, H5. Yeah. But I can't. So I will be able to do some op fire on you from E6 though, if you move into H5. But it's going to be a +3 for the Mason, -1 for the assault move. So a net +2.
Let's try.
But it's going to be 10 firepower. And you know how my dice rolls have been going.
Let's look here. 10 plus 2.
10 plus 2, yeah.
I'm kind of gun shy with those guys. Otherwise, I move into H. Well, but then you can move your guys around and get them, but you don't leave that building, man. Shoot, let's just do it. So 1 into I3. So I'm not crawling. 2, 3. So you're saying I could stop there and hand grenade you, but my fear is you could move this guy up here and fire on him. Not that you would, because you might want to use him for that. But
so E6, the guy in E6.
D5. You're gonna keep your guy in E6, I assume.
Oh, D5, yeah, D5. I could, yeah. And you got to remember, those American paratroopers, they got beefy firepower. That 8 firepower.
Yeah, I'm gonna move in the building.
Okay.
So then H5 for 5 movement points. Let me get rid of the crawl thing. Just say assault movement instead. Does that work? Okay. All right. So now you want to take that op fire shot?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and op fire from E6. So it's going to be 10 at +2. Yes, 10 at +2. 12 nothing. The bar will go ahead and rate. So it's going to be 2 at a +2. 7, 8, 9 nothing. Big goose eggs. Big goose eggs.
When do carrying points negate movement?
When the carrying points exceed the stacking points.
Okay.
You've got you've got 3 stacking points for a squad, and the medium machine gun's 2 capacity. So yeah, you're fine. It doesn't affect it.
Okay. All right. So I guess I can go ahead and assault fire, right?
Not if you want a grenade. I would actually I would grenade instead, because as it stands right now, it's going to be 6 -1 for the casualties, 3, which is going to be 2.5, which is going to be 2 + 3 for the Mason building. Whereas if you do the grenade attack, it's going to be 8. Yeah, so you don't want a grenade. You just want Or you don't want to shoot, you want a grenade.
Okay, we'll get to that when that happens. Okay, so they're done assault. Your turn.
Okay. Now you're going to have to make me think.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I hate thinking. It hurts. It hurts. See, now my concern is I want to get this bazooka up to like E3 or E2 so I can get a shot into the back of that Renault. However, for me to get there in one movement point, I'm going to have to move him into E5. I move him into E5, you might be able to see me and take an opportunity overwatch shot at me.
From where I moved up?
From H5. You got to remember, because you assault moved and didn't fire with them, you still can assault fire with them. You can assault overwatch with them later in the turn. Now, this is what I have to try to figure out. Would you take an assault fire at my unit in E5? You're going to be at 3. It's going to be on the 2. It is the line of sight blocked?
Yeah, that building has a little
line of sight
bump out.
Yeah, it cuts the building. All right, so yeah, okay. The entire point is good. However, had you had line of sight there,
yes,
I would have had to figure.
Yeah, I'd have that dilemma.
Are you going to want to do the grenade attack at +3 against the adjacent, or take the assault fire shot at me at? It's going to be +1, -1, so 3 at even. So yeah, but anyways, since you don't have line of sight, we're going to 1, 2. What?
Go ahead and move, and then I'll ask my question.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. Damn. Here we go. Tank's gone.
Now maybe I got to hit him.
Maybe not this turn, but.
Well, you still haven't rolled for your reinforcements yet.
Oh, I know. I remember. I'm hoping for another one of those low initiative rolls.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and fire the bazooka into the back of the Renault. It's a D class. It's an anti-tank weapon, which is D class.
Let me look at the chart here. Go follow with here. All right, D.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
So my base to hit is 9. I am. Let's take a look at modifiers. Modifier. What's the size modifier of the Renault? I have a feeling it's a small vehicle.
It's probably small, yeah. This minute got a turn. Size +1.
Okay. So I need an 8. There is no terrain cover. There is no obscuring. There's no smoke. I am assault moving, so that is going to be another. Oh, did you say it was a +1? The size modifier?
My size? Yes.
Okay, so assault moving is -1, so that cancels each other out.
Oh wait.
Oh no! Personal assault firing, light anti-tank or light anti-tank rifle. The bazooka is a light anti-tank, so it's going to be +3. Okay, so now we're looking at +4 on the dice roll. So I need 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. And I believe that's it.
I think so. That's all I'm seeing.
I don't think there's any other modifier. So I need a 5 with the bazooka. And we get an 8. Whoosh! Big goose egg.
Woo! Can your guys fire on your guys firing a guy in the woods though?
I don't think so, because it would have to. That would be a different. I would be a different fire group, because it's firing at a different target. And since I am assault moving and firing the bazooka, I don't think I'm going to be able to shoot with him again.
Oh, really? Okay, so that kind of relates to my question that I had over down here on H5. So when you were moving into E5.
Yeah.
Let's say that I had line of sight and I fired my machine gun at you.
Well, your machine gun wouldn't have been able to fire because you assault moved with it. And you can't assault move and fire with a medium machine gun.
But you can alight.
But you can alight, yes.
I do want to ask this question now, because this is, and I kind of, so let's say it was a light and I fired on op fire with my light weapon.
Okay.
could then that squad, almost like I just asked for the bazooka, could that squad then fire later because I just fired the machine gun at that reduced rate?
If I don't know. That's going to be a question that Scott's going to have to answer.
Scott
For an
said,
opportunity Overwatch assault fire, I don't know if they can split the fire between the support weapon and the squad to different targets at different points. I don't know that.
Scott says here, yes, all the assault moving units can fire at any point during movement.
Right, but we're talking about assault Overwatch.
Yes, we are. Yeah, we are on this on my question, but then on
your question, but on my question. So on my question, yeah, I could actually fire this. I could fire the squad on your squad.
Yeah. So the question is, do you think I'll get my roll and get my guys coming on? Or?
Although I don't think I can do it both. Well, it says it doesn't make any sense to me that the squad can fire on your squad at the same time I fired the bazooka at the Renault. I may be wrong, but that just doesn't.
In my Hollywood mind, it does, because I got two guys or one guy. I got two guys firing at the tank, and the rest of them.
Yeah, but like I said, I'm probably overthinking it and getting ASL rules confused with it. Your call. If you want to let me fire that squad at the same time I fire the bazooka, I'll leave that up to you.
Yeah, based on what Scott said, go ahead and fire if you want. Now you don't have to, because then, Devin, remember, I could get my guys coming on, and they.
Oh, and then I would need to save those guys for an opportunity fire. That is a very good point. If you wouldn't have said anything, I would have probably fired him. So let's go ahead.
See, Scott here says assault fire works a little differently during a move impulse. Oh, I got you. So, I still say it's cool, whatever. And then, I mean, we're just unless Scott said no way, but he didn't. So go ahead, quick, do it before he says no way.
Okay, so we fired the bazooka. We have not fired the squad. All right, so that was my impulse. Back over to you.
All right. Well, the only thing I have left to do is roll, see if I can get my guys on. Let's see what happens.
Yep.
7. They don't. So
no. All right. And honestly, that was your impulse. Passes back over to me. I'm not going to move Sergeant Scala down there at B8, so pass.
Well, now do you want to fire your guy? Your squad that moved the bazooka?
See, now why'd you have to say something? All right, yeah, I'll do that. It's going to be assault fire. So it's going to be 4. Let's see if it crosses that crop. It does clip the crop, so it's going to be 4 plus 1 for the crop plus 1 for the woods. So 4 column at plus 2 is going to be 7 plus 2 is 9 is going to be nothing.
So Scott says here, all the units can fire at whatever they like, whenever they like, during the move impulse. Dev is allowed to fire the squad if he likes during the move impulse. Okay, so sounds like we're doing it all right then.
All right, yeah, cool. I like it when I actually manage to do what's within the bounds of the rules without knowing that I'm doing it within the bounds of the rules. That's a good thing. Nice all right, so but yeah, that's I whiffed on that shot, so it passes back over to you, and I think you're done.
Okay, so now I am done,
and the only thing I've got is Sergeant Scala, and I'm not going to move him. He's done.
Yeah.
So
all right. So then, now we go to the close assault segment.
Yep. Woohoo!
Come on, baby. Come on. Okay. 4. So
I get to go first. The part of me is tempted to infiltrate out of G5. The problem is it will leave me with my butt hanging wide open in the wind. So, and we're not going to do that. Yeah, we're not going to infiltrate out of there.
That's just silly, Devin. Come on.
It is
it's tempting.
Silly talk. Yeah. Part of me is thinking maybe infiltrate the bazooka, but I want to be able to fire the bazooka into the butt of the Renault next turn. Sergeant Allen, again, I can move him to F6, but that'll leave E6 open. And I'm good. I pass.
Okay. All right. So I think the only thing tanks can't infiltrate, right? I assume.
Correct. Tanks cannot infiltrate. It'd be kind of cool
Okay.
though,
So
them
do
sneaking around out there, see little tanks sneaking around and hop, 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 infiltrate. I don't think that worked very well.
yes, it would be cool. Especially since I have the tank, it'd be cool. All right. Uh,
So basically, you got
let's
your
see
grenade attack.
here. Yep. All right. I think that's the only thing I'm going to do because I don't think I'd move those guys out of H2 tank and so H5. So let's grenade. So let's do the grenade thing again. So I got 3 guys.
Actually, I think the captain adds his stacking point as well because he is also tossing grenades.
He's a
So that
corporal.
is
Does that
going to
matter?
be. It doesn't matter. It's a stacking point.
Okay. So that's
Now,
4.
Scott may clear that up for me, but I'm fairly certain the leader gets to add in his stacking point as well. So you have 4 times 3. You've got 12 gunfire factors.
Does the casualty affect it?
Nope. Because if the only time the casualty would affect it is if he'd been flipped over and he was 2 stacking point instead of 3 stacking point, but he's still 3 stacking points. So, and that's all you go off of for grenades.
All right. So 12 and
12, which
so
is
I'm
right at the
rolling on
back of the 10 column.
10 plus 3.
Yep.
Does the corporal add anything?
Not for
Minus
grenade attacks.
because
Not for grenade attacks. I
he's
don't
throwing
think.
his grenade. We'll say he's not. We're good. Let's roll.
Other than that, he's adding his grenades in
Dang,
there as
dude.
well.
Sneaky. So I'm 10. I need to roll low. 4
Yeah,
plus
there
3
you
is
go.
7. 7 on the 10 is a C1.
Which is not what I wanted. Crap. You know what? We're gonna have to kill off Captain Dorman.
Captain Dormant, no.
Well, he's broken so many times. It only
He has broken a lot. That captain's broken a lot, but
All right, so motivation is going to be 7 minus 1 for the casualties taken is a 6 minus 1 for the casualties taken this turn is a 5 minus 1 another one for your enemy support in within 1 hex. So I'm down 7 6 5 4. Ooh, this is going to turn very bad very quickly. Nope, he breaks. And since he breaks adjacent to an enemy leader, he surrenders.
Scott said that the leader can add either attack with grenades or direct a grenade attack. So,
Okay.
yeah, it makes sense.
All right, so my guy surrendered. That is distressing.
Okay, I think that's the only thing happening in this segment.
Well, technically, since he is now surrendered in the infiltration segment, I would have to try to recover him at this point. However, I can't because I don't have a friendly unit stacked next to him. So there's no way he is going to be able to recover from being surrendered, which means he's going to be eliminated.
Okay.
And I think that's pretty much going to be it for the morale phase.
Okay. End of turn segment. He would eliminate out of there during the rally phase, right?
Yeah, because I have no way of getting. Well, I mean, I suppose if you want to get technical, I could sneak, E6 to F5 to give him a chance. But again, if I wasn't willing, or no,
Yeah, you're not going to
we're
jump out.
past. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. So since he doesn't have anybody, and yeah, okay. Procedurally, I took him off way before I should have, but at the end, it's still the effect was still going to be the same. Go ahead and leave the bot marker on there. Technically, the bot marker is still in that location, and for some reason, if I happen to, decide to next turn go wild hog and decide to run from E6 into G5, it could be beneficial to you. So you never want to take bot markers off if a unit if there's nothing in the hex.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Into turn 4. Let's see. It's 2 o'clock, but let's see what we can do here quickly here. We'll try to move. So into turn segment, I think we're down there, correct?
Yep.
We go to turn 5 in direct fire. We can skip that. We have nothing there. So now we're fire movement, roll initiative.
Yep.
You got it.
Oh,
Do what you want to do, buddy.
Bazooka into the Renault. So we're looking at a 9, 8 for the small target, right? Is it a small target? See, that's the one thing I always forget. Is
It's a +1
it's a +1
because it is
so
small.
yeah. So yeah, okay. So yeah, I do need an 8. There's no other modifiers because I've not moved or anything like that. We're looking at a flat 8 for me to hit. Hey, we got an 8. Woohoo! So I hit location 3. Pretty sure it's going to be a turret. That is a turret. The bazooka is, what's the bazooka's penetration of, is it bazooka A or bazooka B? I think it's a bazooka A. Penetration of 7.
Oh, yeah, I got to figure out. I've not done this before. I got to figure out how you're just
Oh,
doing this so I can see it.
sorry.
Just learn it. No,
Yep,
that's fine. I
sorry.
was looking at something else on the screen, and I was kind of like, but I wanted to see how this
Okay,
works here.
so after we secured the hit on A1,
Yep.
which I managed to do, then we have to look at where the hit location was, and it's the
rear.
chart that's slightly the B chart, which is right beneath the 1 on the blue chart. You see hit location table?
Yep. Did you roll for that?
Okay, so it's a turreted vehicle. I rolled a 3.
Yep. So you get the turret. Okay.
So it was a turret hit. So now we know where the location was. We have to look at what my penetration value is. You go to the armor penetration gun values tables, and there is it's the green chart.
Oh, it's on the back. Okay. I haven't looked at that at all. Okay.
On the right hand side, kind of down at the bottom, you're going to see machine guns, squad crude weapon, gun penetration tables.
Yeah.
There'll be a line for bazooka A.
Okay.
And then so 7 penetration is 7 to a maximum range of 4 hexes.
Okay.
So that's what the penetration value is. Now you have to take a look at the tank card. Okay,
5
now
turret rear.
but we're firing into the rear, right?
Yep.
So it's a rear turret. Oh, so it is a 5. Okay. So then so the difference is my penetration 7 to the armor of 2. So you go back to the blue chart, the C1 K kill table.
Okay, got it.
Which is right below the hit probability table, and we are firing APDS. I think it's well, regardless, it's not a high explosive round. The difference is +2, and then we roll a D10, and we got a 3.
3.
Which is, if I'd roll a 1 or a 2, it'd be a burn. A 3 or a 4 is a K kill. A 5 is a possible K kill. So it was a 3, which is the K kill, which is going to K kill, which is kill the vehicle. So it gets flipped over to its wrecked side. Actually, I don't know if Scott put the. I don't think you can flip these vehicles. I know in the Arab-Israeli module that Scott did, he put it in where you could just flip the counter to its wreck side. But I think with everything else, you actually have to pull a wrecked counter out.
You do. Just to learn where it is. Where is that? I see F kill, M kill.
It's down below that.
Rectank.
It's wreck tank. Yeah, I already pulled one out and put it on the board. All right, and so did you. Excuse me.
Well, bummer. All right, you want to fire your squad?
Well, sure. I'll go ahead and fire the squad. It's going to be full firepower this time because it was an assault movie. So it's 8, but it's going to be +2 for the orchard and for the woods. 8 + 2. 8 + 2 is 10. Nothing. So I am done.
Okay. I think I want to fire my H5 into E6. It looks like I have line of
Yep.
sight across the wall.
Yep.
So I'll fire everything. So that'll be 4 plus 8 is 12. So on the 10, down one, so 10. The leader is +1. The building is +3, so it's +2. The wall counts as cover 2.
Yep. Now in
So
ASL,
of
it's a
course,
little bit different. In ASL, you can either take advantage of the building or the wall, not both. But in ATS, you get both.
so I think it's on the 10 column, it's a +3.
You're forgetting your corporal. Or yeah, oh no, he's an NCO, not an officer. I forgot. Nope. You're right. +3. My apologies.
Dang it. And then I'll fire with the machine gun. So 8 up 3. Nope. Okay. Your turn.
And I will return the favor. So it's going to be 8, 9, 10 column. It's going to be +3. So basically the same thing you were looking at, just different ways of getting there. 9 plus 3 is 11, nothing. Bar fires on its own, 2 at +3. It's going to be 5. It's going to be nothing.
Hey, Kent, welcome to the viewing. Hexside and in-hex terrain doesn't combine. You have to choose either the building or the wall, Scott Eagle says.
Oh, okay. So it is like ASL. So it wouldn't have modified anyway. It wouldn't have made a difference anyways on the final dice roll. But all right, cool. Thank you, Scott. Yeah, like I said, I knew it was that way in ASL. So
okay, kind of makes sense, I guess. But you still would have the wall. But that's cool. I'm good. Sometimes you can't think about it in reality in these games. Sometimes it helps. Sometimes it doesn't help. So, all right. So you fired. Did you fire everything you wanted to? Nothing happened.
I fired the rate on the bar, but I rolled like a. I don't know, what did I roll? I rolled a 2, but the +3 is 5, so it was nothing. So okay. I needed a 1.
All right. So now I'm going to move my H2 guys. Man, I am stumped on them. All right, I'm going to move them. So they're moving to H3 for 2.
You sure you want to move them and not shoot at me? Part of the scenario is I can't lose so many victory points, I think.
Oh, really?
I think. Oh, no, I was looking at scenario 1. Never mind. Ignore the fat kid. He got things wrong again.
The question is, so 1, 2, 3. Do I want to wind myself and go into G5? But I know what that does.
Just infiltrate during the infiltration phase.
That's true. I got to remember that. Thank you very much. So,
yep.
So I'll just
the only thing I have left is my guy down in B8, and the chances of him getting over there. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, now I don't even think I've got line of sight from there. As far as I could get would be E5. Ooh, I would have line of sight, but again, that would be me giving up the building.
Okay. All right. Well, then that's it from that, and then so I'm done with that movement, that impulse.
I'm gonna pass.
All right. So now let me roll for my dudes.
Yep.
Nope. Okay.
Infiltration.
I'm getting up next turn to be 50% chance.
Woo!
All right. So then I'm done. So.
All right. So now we're going to infiltration phase.
Okay. Roll for initiative. I got a 4. You got a 2. You go first.
2. Yep. All right. He'll go ahead and infiltrate from E2 to D2.
Okay. And I will infiltrate into here. And
yep.
the squad will go with him.
The squad will stay behind. We're just going to throw the gun at the building.
Okay. There we go. H5. I think H5 will stay there. Unless I want to take that chance, get him out here, get closer to your boys. I don't think I'll do that. All I have to do is take one more building.
Yep, that's right.
Okay, I'm done.
And I'm done as well. Pass.
Remove markers. Morale. Do we actually have? None one has morale
Nope.
this turn.
Neither one of us have got anybody that's broken, pinned, suppressed, any of that good stuff, surrendered, nothing.
Okay. In the turn segment, I think we're done. Indirect fire segment. This is the last turn, ladies and gentlemen. We actually made it. It's so funny, Devin. When I was first playing, I was like, man, we might get 2 games in. Like, fine.
Well, if
All
we
right.
weren't chatting so much about various and sundry things, we probably could have, but
That's true. Yeah. All right. All right. Turn 6. Fire and movement. Initiative. Todd rolls a 10. Now it's funny. Now the tables are flipped.
now the dice rolls a flip. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and take my guys in D2, and we're going to go to
You need to.
C3 for 1,
Okay. Look,
C4 for 3.
Devin, now you're doing what you told me to do in the beginning of the game.
I know. Well, technically, you can't see me anyways because of the hedge in the wall. It's
Oh, right.
blocking.
No.
But it's
But that's
just
what you told me to do earlier in the game is to
in my
avoid.
mindset it's just safer that way. So that's 3, and then we're going to go 4 there and stop there.
And apparently you could pick that machine gun up
I could.
for a movement point. That'd be 5. Are
That
you
would be 5. Yeah,
winded then?
I'll pick it up during the infiltration, and because I don't want to I don't want to wind myself. Winding is bad.
It is bad, man. That's a nasty thing.
Yeah, it is. All right, over to you.
I guess I'll fire with my big old monster group here into your guy in E6. So H5 to E6.
Okay.
Is that what I want to do? Is that really what I want to do? Let me think about that a second. It is. I'll do it. All right. So, sorry, I have to do the math. It's 10, right?
Yep.
10 up. So now we know it's just 10 up 3. Oh, you probably just want to take advantage of the wall, right? So we'll do 10 up 1. I'm just kidding.
No, I think I'll take advantage of the building.
Okay, 10 up 3.
So 3 for the building, 1 for
leader.
the leader, so 10 up 2. Yep.
2. Let's see if it matters anyway. So 3, 5 on the 10.
It does.
5 on the 10 is a C2.
C2. All right, we'll put 1 on the squad. And we will wound the bar gunner.
Sergeant Allen.
Stop yawning in people's ears. All right. Morale. So Sergeant Allen first. We can go with a 7.
Do you have to do him first since he's not a leader?
No, but I'm just doing it from top to bottom. Since he's not a leader, I can do it in any order, but we'll do it from top to bottom anyway. So 7, 6, 5 for the casualties taken this turn, 6 for the morale support. So we're looking at a 6.
Come on.
He breaks. The squad is going to be a 9, 8, 7, 6 for the casualties taken this turn. No morale support. All right. So Sergeant Allen, what is with my leaders breaking? And my squad
yeah, that's kind of funny.
Like, what the hell? All right.
And then the fire gun machine will fire at 8.
Rate the machine gun. Yep.
Yep. 8 with so I'm sorry, it's my brain. 8 plus 2.
8 plus 2.
Well, that's C1.
Jeez. Okay, well, we're gonna have to put it on the squad. So let's go ahead and flip him and remove the casualty marker because he's not casualty. All right, so Sergeant Allen has to roll again. So 7 minus 1 for casualties taken is a 6, and the squad is not at full strength, so no morale support. It's a 6. He makes it. The squad is a 7 minus 1 for casualties taken is going to be a 6. No morale support, and he makes it as well. Yay!
Okay, your turn.
Yep. All right. This is the last turn, and there's no chance for you getting to B8. We're going to go ahead and take those guys, and we're going to move them. So we're going to go 1 to C8, 2, 3 to D7. Oh, what is crops?
2.
Okay, so 3, and since I'm stacked with a leader, I got 5 movement points anyways. So 5 points into E7. And they are going to be done.
There's one way I can win this game.
Yep.
And 2 ways. But one's very unlikely. They're both very unlikely.
They're both very unlikely, but
so I'm going to roll for my reinforcements, and this will really determine it.
Yeah.
10, of course. All right, so that doesn't happen.
Of course, yeah.
And so now your turn. I think you're done. No, you have assault fire guy.
No,
these guys.
I got my half squad that's left in E6. They haven't fired yet. Pass.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the only way I can win is to do this. So
yeah, I know exactly what you got to do.
So I guess I can crawl here, right? Does that help me at all?
Crawling into F5.
Yeah.
And
then infiltrate into E6.
Under normal circumstances, I'd say throw a smoke grenade into F5 first.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so then that's I don't know if that's I assume that's just something I got to find in the.
Yeah, it's under the counter mixes.
Smoke 1
as well. Yep, or smoke 2 or something.
Smoke 2.
It only sticks around. It only sticks around till the end of the turn anyway. So.
Okay. Well, why is there smoke 2 small? Oh, smoke 2 small because that's it. You take it out then.
Yeah.
Because 1.
Yeah, because you have ordnance delivered smoke that can stick around for more than one turn.
Okay, so there's that.
Yep. And now you can't crawl because you have to spend a movement point. So it is going to be an assault move, but you're going to have the smoke cover.
Okay. Scott says, Dev, you must have been up late partying last night. You need a nap, brother.
I know. I
made him get up early, Scott.
Yeah. Well, I was up at 5. I tried to go back to bed a couple times. It didn't work too well.
All right. So I have to assault move into that.
Yep.
Correct.
Yep.
All right. And
now I will op fire at you. It's going to be 6. It's going to be +4 for the smoke, -1 for the assault move. So it's going to be 6 on the +3. And 6 on +3 is going to be 9. That's going to be nothing. Combat.
And I'm used 2 movement points. I moved 2 movement points so you can fire twice with your bar.
My bar is broken.
Oh, yeah. That's what I meant. Your bar's broken. So who fired on the 657?
Yeah, that was just the 657, the half squad that's there.
So then you could fire your other guy in there too. Your F7,
sergeant?
your E7.
No, because if you
the light machine gun,
E7 crosses that hedge.
Uh-huh.
And so, hold on. Yeah, I could see past it and the wall. Yeah, I could.
Basically, you just got to break me so I can't.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and do that. It's going to be assault overwatch, so it's going to be have 5, 2.5 is down to the 2 column. It's going to be +1 for the wall that you're behind, -1 for the NCO. So it's going to be a straight up 2 on the 2 column, 3. That's what C1. That's going to be a C1.
Casualty 1. So he's gonna roll. He's gonna morale 5.
His morale is 5, yes, because of the casualty. He also has to take another -1 for the casualties the stack took, so he's actually a 4.
And I rolled a 10. And I rolled a 10, 2 in a row.
Well, hey, he's marked courage. He gets a courageous marker.
But he's broken, right?
No, he's not broken. He's marked courageous.
Oh, so when you're marked courageous, you're not, because technically, if I hadn't rolled a 10, I'd be broken.
Yeah, if you hadn't rolled a second 10, you'd be broken, correct. It's a little ass backwards way of doing it. Honestly, if it were me, if you rolled a one, then you'd have a chance of being courageous. But I can see it courageous overrides being broken. So I understand why if it's a 10, then you have to stack the 10. But yeah, regardless, you got there. He's courageous. Wow,
That's
suckage.
awesome. Well, this is all right. So, okay, so now, and you could fire again with the machine gun?
I could do a second rate of fire. Yeah, actually, no.
No, not on opportunity fire, but you could now.
Yeah,
It's your turn.
yeah.
Right. Because I can't do anything else. I'm done.
I
So,
actually, you know what? I couldn't. It would have been more than that. No, you shouldn't have taken a casualty. You shouldn't have taken any casualties at all. I forgot to add the +4 for smoke.
oh,
I just added the +1 for the wall. It should have been 5, which would have been a flat out miss.
okay. So no courage, no
So
wound.
no courage. Yep, sorry. No courage, no wound. He's at full strength. And even if I did rate with the machine gun again, it's still going to be a 2 at a +5. So I can't. I think even if I roll a
Oh, yeah.
1, it won't do anything. So
Yep. Okay.
shooting at you with the machine gun won't do me any good.
Kent Smith, he said, no way, courage. I know I got excited too, but it doesn't matter because we figured the fire factor's wrong.
Yep. But we got where we were going the right way eventually. It just sometimes takes me a while.
Well, this is interesting, Scott. Okay, the movement point cost of stuff while crawling is relevant only for op fire purposes. You can crawl and pop smoke before leaving your hex.
Really?
Interesting.
Okay, well, even still,
Yeah.
that was even worse.
But so yeah, all right, well, that's good
No,
to
it's
know,
just,
man.
it's just
So
it's just good to know. Yeah, definitely good to know. And like I say, and I was saying this earlier, when you play the game solo, you usually tend to get things wrong. So
I know,
I
isn't it
get a lot
amazing?
of
I
things.
mean,
I get a lot of things wrong.
it's amazing to me. It's like, dang, dude. All right. All right. So now where are we? I'm done everything. You've
Hey, I've
done
done
everything.
everything with mine. That we're done with fire and movement.
Now, real quick, I want to check something real quick before you change
Yep.
that. You could fire your unless you did already, your squad that move with that bazooka, you could fire that squad at my guys in as a regular fire, not op fire because you used all that. But he's got that smoke. Because right, I mean, because you assault and you haven't
Well, I
fired yet.
could, but it's going to be 8,
Four,
4 plus, and since you
four.
crawled, it's going to be 4 plus 5.
Okay. Oh
And
yeah,
on the
nothing.
4 column, it's going to be nothing. Yeah, it's
Nothing. Okay.
so I
All
could
right. Just
fire,
want
but it wouldn't do me any good.
to make sure we're taking all of our chances here because now we know what's going to happen here. I mean, I'm going to get destroyed, but all right. So ready? Last segment.
Yep.
Close assault. Roll initiative. 3 for me.
You got initiative.
All right. So I'm going to go into
Yep.
E6.
And
Is it?
I'm going to have to do
Does it
that.
happen? So it doesn't happen immediately. The melee.
Oh, good question.
Some it does. Some games it does. Some it doesn't.
Yeah.
Nope. It looks like infiltration all happens, then melee. So
Okay, so
okay.
there you go.
Yeah, this is what I thought would happen. So um, these guys are going to infiltrate into this building just so they can get a better picture of what happens here.
Well, they can't see through the smoke. Oh, that's right. You took the smoke bomber with you.
Well, I left the smoke away. Yeah, that smoke would stay till the end of the turn, I assume.
Yeah, until the end of the turn. Yeah.
All right, let's do this. Yeah, I'm going to destroy you, bro.
All right. So technically, you're the attacker.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So you're 6. You can use your machine gun, the light machine gun. So you're at an 11.
Okay.
My defense is going to be 6, 7, 8 for the crew, 9 for the sergeant. So we're looking at 11 to 9 on the odds ratio. What does that break down to? Where's the hand-to-hand table?
ME. I'm going to say 1-to-1 on that.
Where is the melee table?
Bottom of my blue table. Bottom
Yeah,
left.
bottom of the blue. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
I
it's
wish I had
not
cards.
quite. It's not quite 3-2. Yeah, it's going to be 1-1.
So I need to roll a 1. Do these take
We
effect? Do these affect your roll or not?
uh
The results of this? I'll just
we
roll. Let's
have
see
to
what I get. I got a
apply.
5.
We have to apply
Nothing
the results,
happens.
but I think
Sorry.
it's simultaneous.
Okay. I mean,
I'm fairly certain it's
some
simultaneous.
games, some games not. This would seem like it's simultaneous unless there's some weird roll or something, but I don't see that anywhere.
Yeah.
Um,
So now
anyway,
for
I got a 5.
me, my return attack is going to be 6, 7, 8, 9 to your 11, which is not 1-2. Well, so it's going to be 1 to
No,
1 as well.
but not 6. I'm not 6. I don't think you can defend with the machine guns. Is that right?
Right, right. Yeah, I can't use my machine guns in the defense.
Right, but neither can I. So I'm only a 6.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh,
Well, no, you're. I got to look at see what it defines the attacker as. Is it defined as? I'm fairly certain is defined. Okay? In a round of melee, each side is considered the attacker when resolving its declared attacks, and conversely, the defender when defending against the opponent's attacks. When using the ATC SOP, the active player always declares his attacks first before the inactive player. If the players are fully engaged, the side that originally infiltrated must always declare the attacks first. All right, so okay, so I am the attacker for my phase, and I can add my machine gun in, but you don't add your machine gun.
okay.
So we're looking at 6.
And I guess my last question is could I have attacked just like one of your squads or something?
Uh,
I shouldn't have asked that because in ASL you can decide who you're
yeah,
attacking.
yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I shouldn't keep mixing our
No, no,
metaphors.
no, 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 no. It's good.
By the way,
Okay,
can
during
yeah, go ahead.
each round of melee. Yeah, okay, we're gonna have to go back. During each round of melee, the owning player may divide his attacks freely as long as each unit is involved in an attack and no defending unit is attacked more than once. An opposing leader or other one stacking point personnel unit may never be targeted for an attack alone if there are other units in the melee that are friendly to it, with the leader's owning player must declare which of his friendly units it is defended with. Okay, so yes, let's go back, start at the top again. You can choose to either attack my squad or my crew.
I don't really know what. I mean, I guess the difference it could make is that if I survive this, I mean, I guess gives you two less attack points to attack me next time. Whereas the before, I have no. I mean, there's no. I mean, so I could be attacking
Well,
them at
if
a.
if if you attack my crew, I can't use the machine gun in the defense, and it's going to be 6-2, which is going to be 3-1 odds. You eliminate the crew, then the crew can't use the light machine gun when I attack back. Actually, it'll
Well,
be more than that because you'll have the light machine gun. It's actually it'll be 5-1 odds if you attack the crew.
okay. Well, let's attack the crew then. I rolled I'm going to stick with the original roll.
Okay.
Yeah, which was a 5, and so that would be
And that
a
is a
C5.
C4. C5 on the
3 to 1.
4-1 column.
Oh, 4-1. It's
Yeah.
it's 10-2. Oh yeah, 5-1. Sorry. Yeah, 4-1. Whatever.
So it's going to be C4, which is going to eliminate. And since
But they get to still attack me because it's simultaneous. Scott was saying.
Yeah, but at least
This will only help me. Yeah, this will only help me in the next round if I survive.
And since the sergeant was stacked with the crew, I'm going to say he was involved in that attack as well, and the casualties would have carried over to him as well.
Oh, dang. Okay.
You have to.
That makes sense.
You have to identify. Where was it? The leader's owning player must declare which of his friendly units it will defend with. So there you go. All right, so that was your attack. My attack back is going to be 6, 9, 10, 11, 12 to 6 is going to be 2 to 1. If I'm doing that correctly. 6 from the squad, 5 from the machine gun, 1 from the leader. So yeah, 12 would be 2 to 1 odds. Is going to be a 3. Is going to be a C5.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. All right.
Which is going to wipe you out.
Yep. Okay. Good game.
So what? You almost had it.
Yeah, I mean, so that's the funny thing. It's like this is like a lot of these games. It's like you can't give up because who knows? You could have rolled a 10, and I mean,
oh yeah, no, you
still
had a good chance. Well, not really a good chance, but there was still a chance you could have taken that building. So
right.
I mean, had I flubbed that roll, it would have been 2 to probably 2 to 1 for your attack against me, and then at that you're looking at better than 50-50 odds of doing at least one casualty on me. So it was definitely the potential was definitely there. However, I still say the random reinforcement rolls suck for this one. I'm not a fan of Ambo. I don't mind rolling randomly for reinforcements if there's a caveat of by turn 5 they all come on anyways, or something like that. But the simple fact that they may not show up at all, it's like because my dice rolls are usually bad enough that they never show up at all. So
well, and I would argue that you definitely need at least one of the. I mean, obviously, I needed something to come in there to help me boost up. Again, maybe my attack was bad, whatever, but
your attack was a little bit bad. Honestly, with my defense, what you probably should have done was just ignored the machine gun over an H2 because what was it doing over there? Nothing. Pushed I would have set everybody up in like A3 and B3 and just pushed that flank hard.
Yeah. I don't know why. I think that made me nervous because of but yeah.
That's what I would have done. So. But yeah, that's for all our bumbling and needing other input from people. I think we did pretty good.
Yeah. So Scott, Uzi, thanks for the input on the rules. Tony, Kent, sorry, I'm going to scroll through here. ID, Jester, who else? Man, I had a lot of people chatting. Uzi said him. All right, Tony said, Scott, John. Oh, yeah, I didn't see John up there. Yeah, John, Dietrich. I thought there was someone. Oh, Saba, of course, Saba. Sorry, yes. Yeah. And his Al Red Sox fan was on earlier. Neil Malden. Yeah, great. Hey, thanks all for watching. We ended up with 6 watching, Devin. I'd say we pretty good. Maxed at 10, got 6 watching at the end. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching. Remember, Tony and Mitch are playing later tonight, just not on YouTube Hangout, but just on VATS and Skype, so go check them out. Devin, thank you so much. Getting up early, helping me out, learn the rules. Like you learn rules too. So.
Yep. Oh yeah, definitely. Every time I play, I learn a little something more. Every time, and I'm quite happy with that. And I'm just quite happy that I actually got to play. I haven't played against another person in this in years.
Yeah, it's definitely makes a difference. All right, so we'll have to. I want to do that again. So hey, all you are watching, get on VATS. Let's challenge each other to games and learn these games. And you don't have to do Google Hangouts. That's just something that's part of what I do because I like doing it. But yeah, that's cool. Devin, thanks. I got to go. We got stuff going on. You got stuff going on?
Yep.
Doing great. Thanks all, and we'll check you next time. See ya.
See ya.